been living on the street, it ain't easy, the price is going up, my wages stuck, stagnant, feeling broke as fuck. Skip another lunch, if I don't spend it, I'ma turn to dust. Gotta save it for the rent and still, I don't even have enough, it's all bullshit. So I'm reaching in my toolkit, cool kid in class, but it only made me stupid and ruthless. Rock it out till I'm toothless, but my fury in the night, knock your body off the roof, bitch. I'm just a 2-bit con man with the back end. Pac-Man, eat your lunch while you're yapping. Y'all steady capping on tracks just to get a reaction. Already rapping about racks, saying lights, cameras, actions. It's just a fraction of a whole picture. Light fixtures for the set, making no figures. Might pick up in the next season, go figure. If it ain't right, say the reason, but don't go home bitter. I'm a switch hitter, shake it, make the snow globe glitter. We don't even gotta fake it, I don't hold no trigger. Shouldn't even have to say it, but the bolt grow quicker. If these fuckers think I'm playing, I don't post on Twitter, nah. Constant battles in the shadow, and whether or not I've been living like an asshole since a little rascal. Finding the pot being a hassle. Took the fucking pills that you hide and snort inside your bathroom. This is real life, heavy sleeper with a steel pipe. Now I'm real nice, but I'm dumber than you realize. It don't feel right, used to slumming out and still lie. We was wild in the summer, but the winter was the price, yeah. Now I'm feeling like a winner or the type. Found a little bit of fight in the back of my mind. Sins I gotta right, only justify the crimes. It's a fine line between yours and mine, and I'm only one guy in this motherfucking city. Been talking to my pops, ask my mom to forgive me. I ain't talking shit, I walk, so I promise you gon' miss me. Never fucking with the ops, my accomplice getting busy. Feeling dusty, just me, trickle in the breeze. Guess I must be nothing, praying on my knees. I've been hustling, trust me, work is a disease, but they say I gotta have it, cause this world ain't fucking free. Feeling dusty, just me, trickle in the breeze. Guess I must be nothing, praying on my knees. I've been hustling, trust me, work is a disease, but they say I gotta have it, cause this world ain't fucking free. We the middlemen, play the field and draw the line in the sand. Since little kids we saw the lies and the scam. Divide the pie for their friends, then despise who they can. Rise when they stand, Uncle Sam, be that one uncle now. They don't warn when they're touching down. Can touch a crowd but can't talk about how we keep going down and out. Fed up with doubt and billionaires that'll play devout, claiming a set that they know nothing about. I'm yelling up in my house, or should I say apartment. I'll be here for the rest of my life in this compartment. I got green eyes, been denied, I envy some peace signs, feel empty. I need time to stack all my wealth, I'm big pimpin', I'll rhyme till it stacks like a shelf. Can't relax, do the shit by myself, pay the tax, lose a leg, chip to 12, catch some flack, put the pig on a spit, then excel, brick by brick, build the shit from a cell. Stepping back, this ain't it, but oh well. I'm muted, what up? Yes, my last Warcraft video, I was playing a warrior, and I stayed up till 4 AM playing him, and ended up dying to some stupid shit. And after that, I thought to myself, I said, do you really think you can get to 60 on warrior without dying? No, I don't think I'm there yet. I'm not familiar with classic quests well enough to do that on a warrior, I don't think. So I decided to go with the mage. I haven't played a mage since Cataclysm. I played a frost mage in Cataclysm, I'm playing a frost mage now in hardcore. I'm also watching a podcast, so I have it above my head. Sorry if you're on the right. It's not a big deal. We can agree to disagree on shit. But I'm listening to a podcast because this shit is boring to play sometimes.
Be that very clear about that.
No. Like, are they Jews for Trump then? Like, if they're against DeSantis, like, what is the distinguishing factor between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump? I don't really understand.
Listen, I'm not a part of that group. Don't ask me.
You really don't want any association.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Address the Jews against the Ron DeSantis.
People have a tendency to clump Jews together. I just want to make it very clear. I'm one Jew, no club.
Yeah, you know who did that last time? Adolf Hitler.
Doing the Murloc
That's it.
quest right
I'm
now,
just a man.
Yeah, I agree.
No associated with.
where I got to get Murloc eyes, and it's a pain in the ass because the drop rate sucks. So I'm just killing Murlocs. I'm gonna level up fucking doing this. Back up. This is why Mage is so good though, because I can do that right there. And now I'm alive. I need to get this set up real quick. I'm having trouble. Oh my lord. I forgot to Frost Nova. Oh, and I also forgot to make water. Bullshit. Oh, cause wait, I don't want that. Man. Here we go. Make some food and water. Let's also buff myself. I got alchemy, herbalism, nice little herb pouch. I dropped some cash on, save myself some inventory space. Got real lucky with some small red pouch drops, I tell you what.
Anything.
Yeah.
I mind my business, and that's fucking it. No memos. I'm not friends.
Okay, now you're just addressing it too much.
I mean, Wojcinski's gone.
It kind of feels like
Wojcinski's gone.
it kind of feels like there is a memo being
George
sent out.
Soros is. I've never talked to George Soros in my life.
How
Don't.
did we buy this $20 billion compound? You never really mentioned like where the money came from.
No,
There
I
we
did.
go.
It was
Much
from
better.
the. It was,
I
it
can't
was,
carry anymore.
from
Sounds like a
Cap.
leprechaun.
Oh, okay.
They did the gnomes
Hmm.
dirty in this game.
Interesting.
A convincing cover story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Trump dropped some new NFTs, by the way, which I love.
Oh, dude, fire.
I missed the drop, dude.
And as
sad.
as somehow, I'm not surprised to know that his fans are such suckers.
Missing out
that
on
he
money.
sold all of them. Apparently, there was
I don't think I need
there was
coyote
47
later.
cards you could buy.
I'm such
No,
a
no, no.
sucker.
They were $99 per, and he said if you buy 47 cards, 4,700. I don't know why that number. You get dinner with Trump.
Because he's going to be reelected as the 47th president.
Oh, okay.
I think they've given up the whole he's technically still president thing.
This man has never had one of those dinners. I don't believe
That's
it.
what it must
I've
be
yet
like.
to
They
hear
all
from-
get together, and he just like says what up.
No
to them.
shot. I don't even think that happens. I don't think he shows up.
Sucker.
I mean, you are the biggest sucker if you're buying a Trump NFT, so.
Well, I definitely wouldn't think I'm having a one. If you think you're having a one-on-one with Trump for 4,600, you're a dumb fucking idiot loser. Lindsay, he says, as of 10 minutes ago,
Being
my
used
digital
by
trading
what?
cards sold out, and in record time, approximately 4.6
That shit ain't
million.
being used by
Great
nobody.
honor.
What record?
It's a record.
What's
dude.
the record?
Goddamn
Yeah,
ghost.
it's a record for
Fastest
Like
the,
compared
Scam?
to what? Like
the second Trump NFT drop, the fastest it's ever sold.
I guess maybe just
compared to
faster
itself.
than the first one.
I'm sure it's made up.
Yeah.
This is a great honor, and I hope everyone is happy, healthy, and wealthy. Congratulations. So let's take a look at some of these.
You deserve it. If you're getting duped by Donald Trump to buy one of his fucking NFTs and you don't even have the disposable income and you're just like, you know, putting a second mortgage on the house or whatever, you fucking deserve it, you clown.
Show these. Show these.
Whoa, you're stealing them. Yo, nobody screenshot any of these NFTs, please.
You're not
these
you're not
cost
recording, are you, Ian?
$99 a piece, you guys. As you guys know, he is a rock and roller.
I love how hot they make him in
The
all
one
of
with the
these
barbecue,
too.
like-
He's like a bit yassified. What is that? The lion one?
That's sick, dude.
Lion? Yeah, why the lion? It's almost like
King of the jungle.
the lion one. That's fucking weird. Yeah, so here it is, guys. It's really embarrassing to own one of these trinkets.
Wait, so are there not? There's not 47 different ones, are there?
No, you didn't know.
Is
You
that
just have to
is
get
he a hunter? Is that a
multiples.
crossbow?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's not an AR-15.
Yeah, it's just a crossbow. He's pro gun control.
Trump doesn't even like dogs. Like famous.
He hates dogs.
I got a black lab.
Isn't this like a Rastafarian thing? The lion imagery. Snoop Lion. Remember we went by that for like a day?
Yeah.
They do use some of that sometimes. They're not the only one, though.
I was reading an article. The guitar community is pissed off at the one where he's holding the guitar because the way it's crafted is completely wrong. It would never be.
Yeah, I'm pissed about
The guitar
Yeah.
quality.
It's like
Up in arms.
I voted for Donald Trump, and and I would do it again. And I actually illegally voted for Donald Trump multiple times, right?
Oh yeah.
And as a guitar aficionado, a guitar head, you know, this is the final straw for me.
Okay, this is just not safe. Playing guitar while you're on a motorcycle. I mean, that's silly.
Yeah, well, you know,
Might as well.
safety's for pussies, dude. What do you mean? Trump is a big badass.
So congratulations anyway to all the lucky owners of this limited time investment. I'm sure it's going to bring you lots
I'm
of
about to destroy something else to
and
pick
lots
up
of
the
happiness.
pocket watch. God damn it.
Okay, I'm gonna pee real quick while you stay on this. Don't move on to the next one, please. Yet.
You want me to talk more about Trump?
Right. So actually,
Well, apparently this level
the
of
other
threat
big
is
house right
actually
over there
upsetting some
is
of
where
the
my
supporters.
warrior died.
No.
To those two that spawned
Oh,
right
Jake
there and are,
Alaska,
are
he's
attacking the
really
Voidwalker. Those two spawned outside as I was coming out.
He has
And
really
I was
fallen
pulling
off
one
on
enemy out,
stage,
so I had 3
partially
enemies
because
on
he
me
spent some time
after
in
I
jail
came
for
outside.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then it
capital
was
on
fucking
January
over
6th.
because I'm a warrior.
He was famously the one that was streaming them in Nancy Pelosi. I think it was Pelosi's office. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Not the brightest guy. I would compare him to the dude that we were talking about on the show yesterday.
Right.
Eric.
Ethan Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Ethan Schmidt.
Where he
Wait,
was just
what?
kind of a troll. He would live stream himself going around and just harassing people, being an asshole generally. And yeah, he was a hardcore MAGA guy, but the
Oh, it's
NFTs may have
sweet.
been
100.
Maybe it was the prison.
far, or maybe the prison.
He says, I can't believe I went to prison for an NFT sale. It's
No.
starting to set in for Baked Alaska. Maybe I backed the wrong man, he's thinking to himself from a prison cell.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? That remains to be seen. I'll watch this video while
What we got?
it's the NRA diversity one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as you guys, the NRA, powerful organization. A lot of people think of it as like a white Christian kind of organization in general. But this speaker, Governor Kristi Noem, South Dakota, is here to
Noem?
assure us that diversity is at the heart of the NRA. And here's her speech about it.
There's a lot of other people, a lot of diversity within the NRA. Well, let me tell you something. I may be a mom and a grandma, but I am
She's
the
a
NRA.
grandma? Yo. That's crazy.
A lot of diversity.
So as she was saying, lots of diversity in the NRA. As
Yo.
you can see, here's a little slice of their membership, and as you can tell, they have old white Christians, they have middle-aged white Christians, they have old white women Christians. Also, they've got middle-aged white
Bro,
Christians with
you
beards.
dick.
C-SPAN did him
I
dirty.
don't want to accept
Some
Like,
that.
they
without
did-
beards.
They did not have to pan to the fucking most Caucasian audience
I
of
like-
all time.
I like to think that the tech director at C-SPAN did this intentionally because it's so fucking.
Bro,
funny
they
because
pan
of it.
over and like this demographic, like the diversity here is what, like the age range of 65 to 85. Like what the fuck's going on? Look
Well-
how diverse we are, brother. We got, you know, Hank here is actually 60 years old. He's totally outside of that demographic.
Well, what's interesting about the NRA conventions, they actually start them real early so that they can get out in time for the early bird special. It's baked in there.
Oh, for the
Yeah.
4 p.m.
Fuck you,
dinner at
Wolf.
Denny's.
Yes.
Right.
It's a good discount.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Coyote ass bitch.
Yes. By the way, these are the people that want kids to continue dying so that they can own an AR-15. Just take a look into their fucking souls. They all love Jesus, man. Nothing says Jesus like an AR-15
Yeah,
and a
well,
bunch
guess
of
what?
dead kids.
Guess what? As Marjorie Taylor Greene famously said, if Jesus Christ had weapons of war at his disposal, the Roman government would not have been able to crucify him.
True.
She did say that, and I agree with her.
If Jesus
She's making good points.
If Jesus had modern day arsenal, he could have stopped the Romans. Which begs the question: if the man is all powerful God, I mean, why didn't? You know.
Because that was the point, and that's
Then
what,
why are they mad? It doesn't make any
exactly. That's
sense.
what MTG is saying is so insane. It's like it would have been badass if he didn't die for our sins.
They can't
been
get
so
the story
fucking cool.
straight. Was it good? Was it not? Was it on purpose? Was it not? I mean, guys, come on now. Anyway, let's take a look. That's right. Even the applause sounds like. Somehow.
Somehow you're right.
So that was pretty funny, little goof there. A new Shabibo soy face dropped, Hassan. Pretty exciting. I don't know if you saw this.
For the record, Christy Noem is 51 years old, and she's a grandmother. Lauren Boebert is 36, and she's a grandmother.
Oh, wow. What? How? What the
Fuck.
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert.
Logo is a grandma at 36.
The fuck hit me that
Hold
hard.
the phone. Let me crush the numbers on
Yeah,
that.
do the
That's the
math.
kind of
Don't
shit
make
that's gonna
sense.
get me
They're
Do the
killed
math,
right
baby.
there.
You're gonna figure it out.
Surprise hits.
Oh, I think if she was a teen pregnancy and then her kid was also a teen pregnancy.
That's right.
That's pretty much the only way that would add
Her
up.
17-year-old son is expecting a baby with his teenage girlfriend in April.
Yep.
Anyway, here's Ben Shapiro doing soy face. Mr. Beast versus trans controversy.
This fucking video made me so mad. One, because it's like just straight plagiarizing Sunny V2.
Is
Like,
that right?
it's identical. He literally is saying the same shit as
think
Sunny V2.
The highlight
Secondly-
is titled the same way as Sunny.
Yeah.
This is the main
Wow.
upload.
Yeah.
But
That's
Secondly, it looks like he's in support of Chris,
yeah.
coming out. Like, he's
Well,
like,
folks-
oh, I love it. Yeah. Hypothetically.
Turned him gay.
I wonder if Ben Shapiro continually makes his eyebrows look thicker because he thinks it's
Well, folks,
less
Mr.
gay.
Beast.
It's to draw attention away from his patchy ass, awful ass, little beard that he's trying to grow.
Anyway, so that's that. A nice little shout out there. But let's move on to Matt Walsh Hacked, another fine member of the Daily Wire. This was fantastic. Of course, they got it resolved immediately. My first impulse was they're never gonna get this fixed because nobody works at Twitter anymore. But of course, Elon Musk is gonna help them immediately.
Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, that like, what is it? Anya Taylor Joy? Is that her name? Am I saying that right? The Queen's Gambit chick.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. She's great. She was selling laptops for like a month.
Really?
David Dan, who
Wasn't
who's
it
a friend of
Bobby
mine.
Lee was like,
Bobby Lee's been selling laptops for like 2
he's
years.
like, I can't
Yeah.
get that on Twitter.
Yeah, like literally, so many celebrity accounts and even journalists like David Dan have been hacked a million times over.
And they fixed this shit in like an hour.
They not only fixed it, but they
Bobby
immediately
Lee's still
deleted.
selling laptops?
9 more left. I know we could sell out today, guys.
Yeah,
Yes, are open.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, someone needs to buy those 9 laptops so Bobby can get his fucking
Right,
account back.
yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, yes, of course, if you are a horrifically violent, bigoted, transphobic psychopath, Elon Musk loves you and will literally give you, absolutely white glove service. Is that the right term?
Yeah, white glove service.
Yeah. Like, personally and individually, he will defend your account, which he did.
So he says my pronouns are that N-word.
Yeah.
That was the first tweet where we're like, okay, interesting, Matt Walsh. My Twitter isn't hacked. This is just the real me coming out. Apparently, So what happened was, and this is almost happened to me. They got
SIM swap.
a SIM swap. Yeah.
Pretty classic.
Yeah, pretty classic.
Yeah.
It's scary that that's so easy to do still.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. That almost happened to me like it was a long time
That's
ago
what people
now.
were saying. Yeah. They
But
thought.
I lost, because it was happening to a lot of YouTubers, so I was like on high alert. And I saw that my service dropped out completely. And I was like, oh fuck, dude, somebody had
Oh, I leveled up. I
right
just
here, so I
realized.
called in, and I got it.
Oh,
I got in
lost
just
the
in time,
mob.
bro.
Yeah. They,
now my shit's quick. 1.3
they've tried to do
seconds.
that to me as well.
Oh my
it's
god, I'm an
super
idiot.
common.
And even when I
Whatever.
tried to call my carrier and put in some like fail safes and like
God damn it.
codes, they were.
I'm gonna go kill
the
boars.
representatives there are so untrained. These guys, they call and call and call so many times. They find someone who fucks it up.
They ultimately always have. They usually have like one guy inside too, like a
That's
low
what
level guy
yeah,
with
yeah.
access.
That's it.
They
had a
always
guy
have like a
inside.
low level guy
'Cause
with
they knew my
access.
PIN number, right?
Yeah.
They actually knew my PIN number.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no protection from this.
Yeah.
But
So-
anyway,
So yeah, he hacked them. There's more tweets here. You know what you did. You are Ben Shapiro. You know what you did. You are a closeted homosexual and hide behind being Jewish.
that is something Matt Walsh would say if he was not an employee of his.
I can confirm Andrew Tate at Cobra Tate kidnapped and raped those girls.
Right.
Joe Rogan is a pedophile.
That's
I ain't a gangster. I'm a sassy shooter. I'm leaking the DM soon. No cap.
This is the one that I really like. I hope he exported all those DMs, and I can't wait to see.
That was the last one before the account got locked down.
Yeah, they locked it down. So a couple things happened in this process. A Wired editor, a Wired journalist actually went after the hacker and wanted to write an article about it, right? Which is what journalists do. Understandably, this is like a massively famous far-right stochastic terrorist public figure, whatever you want to fucking call him. And his shit got compromised. So soliciting hacked material of this variety is technically not illegal, even though Matt Walsh wants it to be. Yeah, this is what journalists are supposed to do. Obviously, they will not reveal information that is private, you know, your family members, things of that nature, or your address is like, they're not supposed to do that.
I mean,
but
if that was
that's
true, media wouldn't be able to report on any government leak.
exactly.
We would have never heard of WikiLeaks, Pentagon Papers.
Exactly.
Nothing ever. It's stupid. It's obscene.
So here's what happened. The journalist that actually went and talked to the hacker had his Twitter account yeeted.
Mm-hmm.
So the white glove service even extends to people who are trying to solicit information or write articles on Matt Walsh's account being hacked.
So Elon banned the reporter. So he's
Yeah.
pretty keyed into this.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee's been selling laptops for 2 years, but
I hate the rain.
Matt Walsh has his captive
Yeah,
attention.
if you want immediate attention from Elon Musk, you just gotta be like a horrifically violent anti-trans bigot.
Is there a way to turn
Elon
off
Musk
weather
is really
effects?
showing. I didn't expect that he was this vile in terms of like his beliefs, but he's really aligning himself with the Daily Wire folks, which is really scary and disturbing, as they're like the most hateful, and
Sucks.
almost genocidal fucking maniacs today.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not almost. Yeah, they are genocidal. But there is something good that came out of this. The hacker did post a song called "Sassy Shooters," which he was trying to promote.
Yeah, this was his friend's song, I think, or something.
And so I just want to say that drop the DMs, brother. Here's "Sassy Shooters." Drop the DMs. Drop the DMs.
Fuel's got that heat.
Drop the DMs, dude.
Damn shy,
Spin on my block, get your dick sucked. He want a quick fuck, I'm tryna rizz up. When I see you, better keep that dick tucked. Put it in his butt, I don't give a fuck, I'm a slut. I ain't a gangster, I'm a sassy shooter. Why the fuck you hating from behind the computer? My dick getting hard, growing large like a tumor. Old ass man in my DMs, he a groomer.
If it don't fart when you ride it, put the
Drop those DMs, brother.
I was in the cell getting fucked, I'm crying. Hit it from the back, I'm a top, I'm supplying. One
Hit it
dick,
from the
two
back, I'm a
dick,
top, I'm
three dick,
supplying.
four. Yeah, I bust, yeah, I nut, yeah, I blow. Love the way that I'm fucking on my dad and his bro. In the show, I'ma grow a dick long like Pinocchio.
Okay.
This song is fire.
So shout out Gabriel, who was the main benefactor of this hack.
Yeah.
And his top-
117K plays,
Yeah.
50 likes only. That's a little bit low. I think, you know, they deserve more.
I don't know if people still have SoundCloud memberships. but-
Spin around the block if your dick sucked is a bar. I mean, that's fire.
So yeah, shout out and you
Put
know,
it in his butt, I don't
release
give a
the
fuck.
DMs, brother. Release the DMs, please. Thank you.
So, fine.
Yeah.
I gotta go like that real quick. Gotta show my support. What? Okay, let's do it one more time. That's good.
Damn, shy.
Spin on my block, get your dick sucked. He want a quick fuck, I'm tryna rizz up. When I see you, better keep that dick tucked. Put it in his butt, I don't give a fuck, I'm a slut. I ain't a gangster, I'm a sassy shooter. Why the fuck you hating from behind the computer? My dick getting hard, growing large like a tumor. Old ass man in my DMs, he a groomer.
If it don't fart when you ride it, put the dick inside him, I'm forever wild. Yeah, I was in the cell getting fucked, I'm crying. Hit it from the back, I'm a top, I'm supplying. One dick, two dick, three dick, four. Yeah, you moan, yeah, I bust, yeah, I nut, yeah, I blow. Love the way that I'm fucking on my dad and his bro. In the show, I'ma grow a dick long like Pinocchio.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah, I bust, yeah, I nut, yeah.
Hack was accomplished, Doom says, using a technique known as...
Who was the main benefactor of this hack?
Yeah.
And his top-
117K plays,
Yeah.
50 likes only. That's a little bit low. I think, you know, they deserve more.
I don't know if people still have SoundCloud memberships. but-
Spin around the block if your dick sucked is a bar. I mean, that's fire.
So yeah, shout out and you
Put
know,
it in his butt, I don't
release
give a
the
fuck.
DMs, brother. Release the DMs, please. Thank you.
So, anyway, you know, the article itself is actually quite informative. Unfortunately, the DMs don't seem, it won't be released anytime soon. The hack was accomplished, Doom says, using a technique known as SIM swapping, so we were correct on that. And basically, he said he just did it for a meme. Like, he didn't do it for any political reason, just to, like, troll a little bit. And he sent some emails between Walsh and Crowder. Crowder introducing himself before he and Walsh began opining about the imminent collapse of cable news industry, and then the growing obsolescence of talk radio. And Matt Walsh basically says, you know, he's talking about shrinking market shares, and he's a radio host at the time. He says that his primary goal is growing his personal brand for profit. He says there's certainly plenty of money to be made when you can get millions of hits online, and I'm a capitalist and I have a family, so I've decided to start getting serious about that.
If I said that, people would just go so anti-Semitic on me.
Yeah.
Right.
My only goal here is to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, and grow your personal brand. You're a capitalist.
By the way,
and you're
notice
family.
it wasn't. I want to spread Christian gospel. I want to spread conservative doctrine because I think it's what the world needs. No, it's I want to make as much fucking money as possible. And boy, he chose the right vertical for that.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's an absolute freak.
Although I will say, Hassan, when the hack took place, he was giving a speech at Iowa University whining and complaining that YouTube completely demonetizes his channel due to his transphobic coverage of Dylan Mulvaney. And he claims, at least, that he was getting $100,000 a month from YouTube. Which, going over his videos, frankly, I'll show you something really sad and disturbing about Matt Walsh, who is the most hateful fucking bitch ass. So before his like transphobic crusade on Dylan, his views were consistently dog shit. Like nobody cared about Matt Walsh. Even if you go as far back as 2 weeks ago, 88,000, 40,000,
Yikes.
80,000. But once he starts hitting this transphobic, here it is. Let's see. 800,000, 500,000. Like the views are crazy. Every single video's got like 1.1 million. Bud Light, the Bud Light shit. And now he's posted all of his videos. Look at this. He made the dumbest video about Blippi, by the way. He didn't even mention the diarrhea shit. 650, 850.
Wait. His video criticizing Blippi wasn't about the diarrhea?
No, I watched it on the member stream. It's so vapid. Let me show you. Let me show you what his thesis was against Blippi.
What, that he thinks he's like gay or something?
Right.
No, he doesn't. Let me just show you. He doesn't support it at all. He goes, watch this. Hold on. Okay, watch this. Watch
Selling Iraqi dinar.
This video is garnered.
Watch this.
My family, and you can do the same. Text Walsh to
He's selling gold
989898
coins,
to
by
get
the
a free info kit on gold today. With an A+ rating with Better
You're gonna
Business
need to make
Bureau,
some sales
thousands of
now.
happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews. Birch Gold is the company I trust to protect my future and yours. Text Walsh to 989898 today.
Gold.
Now, a lot of Blippi content consists of John, who's the original Blippi, running around playgrounds like he's mentally disabled. Here's one of the most popular videos on the channel. This video has garnered.
He reviews it as if it's meant to be consumed by full-grown adults.
Dude,
Like, he can't perceive.
Dude, that's like, dude, okay, first of all, this is like 80% of Daily Wire content, if you haven't noticed.
Right.
They always look at like whatever the fuck children are supposed to be watching, and then they meticulously break it down with the veracity of like a fucking unboxing YouTuber, where they're like soy facing half the time. And if Disney is not giving them like enough gay content, they will literally make up Disney shows that don't even exist yet and then get mad at that hypothetical. It is so pathetic. Like, you saw the Ben Shapiro video, I'm sure, on Twitter that was going viral, where he's like, Frozen 4, Elsa's gonna be super gay. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, dude, that never, you're literally fantasizing about a movie that hasn't come out, like, that is not even in, like, development or anything, to get angry at that movie. It's so fucking transparent what these guys are doing.
I gotta go 20
Tell me
fucking
what-
harvest
tell
watchers.
me what you think about
God
this
damn.
analysis.
500 million. Okay, that's 500 million views. And almost all those views coming from kids who are like
Watch
3 or 4
this,
years
please.
Watch.
Here's this clip that is so
There's people
disturbing.
over here.
This is the best they could find.
Oh shit.
Hey!
Got you, bro.
Blippi! Woo! And it's nighttime and we're in a parking lot. There's so many stores. Wow! Look at this store! It's the Kinderland Indoor Playground in Las Vegas, Nevada. Come on!
Hold on. Watch it in its entirety.
It is weird
place
though.
is
Like,
so
I mean, he's not wrong. I can't
Before
believe I'm
we
saying
play,
this, but
we
it's
need
like,
to
it
take
weirds
off
me
our
out.
shoes.
It's not weird at all, dude. If you have kids, this is like not fucking weird at all.
Dude,
In fact,
Matt Walsh probably responds to Dora when she asks questions.
he's like, yeah, done. He's like, it's so obvious. It's blue.
Blue.
This show's so easy. What are you doing, Dora? It's not weird at all, dude. It's actually pretty good kids content in terms of the other shit that's out there.
Run. Just
So Blippi
fucking
is
run.
even certified. That's what we're finding out.
Without, I mean, yeah, without.
We
the
don't take
diarrhea
any
shit, I
mobs
think
we
it's
weren't
fucking
expecting.
good.
We don't. 'Cause that's how you
'Cause,
fucking
like,
die.
There's so much bad kids content, especially online. This stuff's
I'm
at
not
least,
deleting
like,
this character yet.
educational. You know,
We're gonna make it to level
thoughtful,
20 at
pretty good
least.
Vibe, wholesome.
Play.
So this clip,
And shat on his friend.
yeah, that he didn't mention that. That would have been good. Also a gay act, some would say. That's a slam dunk.
Hello?
So there it is. I mean,
That's enough of that.
He's very upset by that. Huh?
I don't mean to overstate this, but I would rather jump feet first into a wood chipper than continue watching that.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, it's not for you, you
don't-
fucking freak.
You don't
You
have
donkey.
to. Why you don't? He's sitting by himself watching Blippi and being like, I don't get it.
Just angrily tuning into like YouTube Kids, opening up my YouTube Kids subscription just to froth out of the mouth at like whatever the next Blippi video is. Oh my God, he unboxed Kinder Surprise. Like, oh, it made me so angry.
Yeah, if those hackers happen to see this, by the way, and they're looking for some cover art for sassy shooters, we have you covered.
So here's the thing, Matt Walsh got his account back, and the first thing he did was change his bio back to theocratic fascist.
Yeah,
like
which is
he-
way less offensive.
He literally was like, "Oh yeah, no, time to get my ducks in a row.
Well,
You
they've
know,
all
time to get
come
my
over here, it
business
seems.
in check here. Let me type out that I'm a theocratic fascist again in my fucking bio. What a freakazoid, dude.
No, that's great. I mean, that's cool. That's good. That feels comfortable.
He's so
and
That-
gross.
Oh, hell no.
He does
and
one more reaction.
greasy and awful, which is why it's obvious what this is, right? People only watch him because he's transphobic, and they want to hear transphobic
Leave me
shit because
alone.
they're just as transphobic as he is. Maybe not as much. It's hard to be as transphobic as Matt Walsh, but that's it. That's the whole point. Like, he's not charismatic. He's not unique. He's not funny. He's not creative.
Oh,
He's got nothing.
His jokes are horrible. His analysis is total nonsense. I mean, here, watch this. He shows another clip. There's literally no analysis. There's no explanation for why he's feeling the way he is, and it left me utterly stunned and confused that this is watchable content.
no offense to Blippi. And that's a video from 5 years ago. But the newer Blippi content is exactly like this. Of course it is, because he got 500 million views on it. This is children's content created by a weirdo degenerate through an algorithm.
Again, he didn't even mention the diarrhea thing. That would have worked if he mentioned the diarrhea
Slam
thing.
dunk.
Then I go, yes, he's a weirdo degenerate. But he has not given any context.
Okay, that's what this is.
He's a weirdo degenerate simply because he entertains kids, which Matt Walsh doesn't believe in, by the way. Mein Kampf only. It's the only book that my kids are allowed to read.
There's a video from 5 days ago which features the new Blippi in exactly the same sort of situation. Let's watch some.
So much to learn about, it'll make you wanna shout, Blippi!
Whoa! Hey, it's me, Blippi!
And it's me, Mika.
Whoa.
And today we're at Candyland Indoor Playground.
In Sherman Oaks,
I just figured out why he doesn't like this.
Whoa. Oh,
Oh, they think it's like gay? Because it's Candyland?
No.
Oh, because there's a black person in it?
That was just, yeah. Miscegenation, brother, is
Well,
fucked up.
he doesn't say it.
Mika,
But
I
yeah,
have an
maybe
idea.
you're right.
You normally want to start your day with breakfast, but today is opposite day. So let's start it with dinner, because breakfast and dinner are opposites.
Hey, I saw a supermarket back there. Let's dance backwards.
Okay, let's go find some
Good.
tasty food.
You cut it off.
Cut it.
Now,
I can't
again,
say
I'm not trying to be insulting, to Blippi, but all I will...
Listen to how dramatic he is.
You cut that off. Now, again, I'm not trying to be insulting to Blippi, but all I will say is that these videos make me long for this sweet release of death. And on the plus side, I've actually overcome my fear of my own mortality just by watching short clips of Blippi. It made me realize there are some things worse than death. And
Again, bro, it's like
The amount, yeah, the amount he's like,
for 3-year-olds.
I mean, I guess he's trying to cut content, you know? He's trying to get in the algo. Meanwhile, I'm trying to change my username now that I've lost my blue check mark. I think I'm
can
gonna
you?
change it. Yeah.
I'm changing mine to Elon Musk.
No, not your. You know, you can change your.
Son of a bitch.
The handle.
Yeah, you can change
at.
it. You can change your handle.
Oh, wait, why would you want to do that?
No.
You not the at? You mean the at?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to change the at.
Switch it up.
I do want to become Elon Musk though. Although, can I still get banned even if I'm not verified for doing that? Or is it only people who are
I
verified?
think it was just verified. if
But
I
you know he'll
recall
ban me.
also. Yeah, I mean, and so be it if so.
I agree. Twitter's, it's so bad.
Rat hole.
It is. I mean, really.
Never mind. I can't change it because, of course, both of those usernames are taken.
Rip.
Ah, surprising.
Don't forget to hydrate.
we got a small correction on the album art.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
Use that.
This dude, I heard that Matt Walsh, while watching Blue's Clues once, punched a hole through the wall.
Yeah.
His hand is.
He couldn't figure out the clues.
It's just
Yeah.
It was too hard.
Too hard.
That fucking dog
Why?
is lying.
Dogs can't talk. Everybody knows this. What the fuck?
This is insane. Like, is this really what are teaching our kids, that dogs can talk?
What the fuck? Did Blue actually talk? Or was
No.
Blue the
he
dog?
just went,
Blue never talks.
Yeah, he just went,
Yeah, well,
Thank you, Zach.
a crime-solving dog? What's next?
a
A dog that can play basketball?
What's next? A trans who drinks Bud Light? Trans person who drinks Bud Light?
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, so Matt Walsh, yada, yada, yada. That's about it, eh?
Wait, there is a really juicy detail, unless I missed it when I stepped away for a second, about his contract with Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was something leaked about that?
Well, so remember when Crowder had his war with Daily Wire a couple months ago?
Yeah.
He leaked the contracts and like his conversations with them,
Mhm.
and one of his biggest things was that their standard contract was that if you get demonetized on YouTube, they cut your pay by 25%.
Which
that was
did
like the
happen.
biggest, that was the
Matt.
biggest sticking point to Crowder. It was like, fuck that, because if YouTube demonetized me, I'm not taking a pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt Walsh getting demonetized on YouTube not only loses him the AdSense revenue, but likely is going to lose him money from Daily Wire as well.
I'm assuming the Daily Wire, they got to be sharing with Daily Wire. The
No,
revenue.
no. Remember the Steven Crowder
So what do they feed
like
them?
deal? The Steven Crowder deal is that like the Daily Wire cuts his pay if he gets demonetized or if he gets
Because-
banned.
Yeah, which makes sense because they're getting his YouTube revenue. It goes to
Yeah.
them. They give him a
Percent-
guaranteed,
Right,
and
he
they
had to
take
give them a
everything.
percentage of that or whatever. and
They
then he
take
got the
everything, I'm
guarantee.
assuming.
Right.
And then pay
It's
them a fat
mind-boggling to
salary.
me that Matt Walsh was making $100,000 a month off YouTube by just doing almost exclusively hate speech.
Right. Yeah. Very
Like-
profitable.
Any other subgroup that Matt Walsh targets to this degree, like if it was about gay people even, for example, YouTube would be like, okay, that's like, this is crazy. But because it's trans people, there is discussion surrounding the
Oh, well,
matter, so you can be as transphobic as you want.
To be fair, that is why his entire channel got demonetized. Like, permanently demonetized. Or no, that's not.
No, he didn't get permanently
He
demonetized.
said, as long as I remove the videos, I can get monetization back.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's because he's like regularly misgendering Dylan Mulvaney. Not when he basically justified the Q nightclub shootings or fantasized about like drag queens being beat up by cops. Not when he, talked about or lied about the children's hospital in Boston. Like, that's some real villain shit, dude. When you're like, when your main enemies in your commentary is a fucking children's hospital, it's like you're out of control.
Yeah.
YouTube's like, nah, that stuff's great. We love that. Thank you, Matt Walsh. Keep making that great content, please. And it goes to show you once again, there's a lot of money to be made in hateful content and hateful commentary. There's a lot of like freaks online who are extremely online that don't represent a broader base of support in the voters that really, really love this shit. It's that's why I say like transphobia is a mental illness, like actually a mental illness. When you become transphobic, or I guess everyone's starting point is a little transphobic regardless. The way I describe it is like I put it into 3 brackets. Okay, most people's starting position is transphobia because of the way that we've learned about gender and how deeply personal it is to our identity. It's a core part of it, right? It's rigid. It's this rigid binary. And for that reason, the normative position, for the most part,
Can
is
we
like,
not call that transphobic? You know what I mean? I feel like that.
the normative
That
position,
doesn't do the acceptance movement.
regardless,
justice.
the normative position is apathy, right? The
yeah,
overwhelming
yeah.
majority of the public looks at trans people and goes, yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't really get it. Whatever, right?
Yes.
It's weird. I don't really understand it. Who cares? That's usually the apathy is the normative position. This is what trans activists say as well. It's not just me saying this. And then there's 2 different brackets. You have the other people who see that and are faced with trans people in their personal lives or anything like that, and then they are no longer transphobic. They're against transphobia, which is not as big as a subgroup, obviously, but still, you know, relatively sizable. And then you have trans people themselves, obviously. And then the last category is the transphobic people who see that and then make a decision to actively become transphobic, where they're like, no, this is really fucked up. We need to put an end to this. This is destroying Western civilization. And when you go down that rabbit hole, the starting point could be something as seemingly innocuous as like, I don't think that trans women should compete with cis women in athletic competitions, all the way down to, you know, trans people are all groomers and pedophiles and all this sort of stuff. And then the final stage of that mania is seeing trans people everywhere you go, where you think anyone and everyone is trans, where you become a transvestigator. That's what it's called. Yeah, transvestigations, where you are investigating gender and whether or not everyone around you is secretly trans. And the reason why that's really funny is because it literally it reconfirms the reality that gender is an expression and it's a social construct, and it's actually not as
This is
rigid
why I
as
gotta
you
watch
think it
something
is,
while playing
because
this.
you start thinking
These
like
fucking quests
cis women
suck
who are
ass.
pregnant, like fucking Daniel Radcliffe's wife, is actually secretly trans. And when you get to that point, the we can always tell crowd is routinely misgendering cis women over and over again. They start misgendering cis men over and over again, because guess what? You can't always tell, because gender is a social construct. It is
There's
basically
fucking
like a sock that you
everywhere.
can put on top of your foot if you want to consider like the biological gender or sex, which also isn't a rigid binary in the way that people think it is, but it's something that you wear on top of that, right? It's your outwards expression.
So people believe that this girlfriend is trans.
Who's pregnant, dude?
Good.
Like,
oh, so they admit that trans people can get pregnant.
well, that's the hilarity, is that like it basically is gender abolition, but from the other side of the argument. When you become so transphobic that you think everyone around you is trans, you are basically engaging in this weird, you know, right-wing gender abolition, where
This is crazy. Let me see what exactly, how are they walking that expresses a triangle?
I think it's that their shoulders are not square enough, like a man.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't understand the triangle.
Like,
I can't
dude,
explain the
that's
triangle.
like just how pants work, bro.
that's where the pussy is, brother.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's being like targeted here.
Yeah. And I like to joke about this, but like the final stage of transvestigations is when you think that like your parents are secretly trans, actually, because like some of them do get to this level because they become more and more like unhinged. They're becoming like delusional, right? Like it's delirium.
It's literally a paranoia personality disorder, and these people find each other on the internet.
Yeah, but it's like it's something that you basically broke your brain into believing. And my joke is that the last stage of transvestigation is when you think you are you were trans when you were a baby, like just by your trans parents. Your parents are secretly trans; they're not cis, and you were trans at an early age.
Serious, is it? Elon's feminine spine is evidence. What? Feminine spine.
I love Ryan Gosling because
gay
V-shaped clavicle equals female. Oh.
They're all men.
If a woman
because
has
their
even a
jawline
slightly squared off jaw, they're a man.
Okay. Interesting. This is science. This is very scientific. I can tell they really analyze this deeply.
And then they misgender these people too. Like, he's so rectangular. It's like, yeah.
Let me analyze pictures of you, bro. Whoever put this together, let me analyze pictures of you.
Well, you would do that. You would say that, except I'm pretty sure this Mel article actually gets into that as well. Transvestigation communities on Facebook have been wrought with controversy, not because, you know, they're doing something freak-like, but because they actually end up having fallouts because they start accusing one another of being trans.
Awesome. Yeah, the way that I think about it, and this is how I think about most of these social issues, is that at the end of the day, you're either in favor of freedom for people to be who they want, to love who they want, and supporting people's pursuit of happiness, which is supposed to be a God-given and constitutional right, or you are in favor of, you know, projecting
just need
your
two more.
worldview onto other people and forcing people to live in a way that you approve of.
Yeah,
So,
which
I mean,
ironically
it's
is what
like
they say about trans people
one or the
existing.
other. It's just one or the
No,
other.
but they say that about trans people existing, even though that's literally what the anti-trans folks are doing. They claim that trans people want everyone to be trans. They want us to subscribe to their belief system. It's like, no, man, they just want to be left alone, dog. They want to be able to get their medical procedures, and they want to be fucking left alone to, you know, keep playing Hearts of Iron and Crusader Kings and shit. You know, every Paradox game that comes
keep
out.
saying that, and I just, as a big Paradox game fan myself,
I play
I'm not
Crusader King
understanding
too.
this
What
reference.
the fuck?
You said that last week too.
Although, what's the problem? The trans people want to play it?
No, but
The problem is those games are, for me, unplayable.
I like Crusader.
You know, the kind of
That's
neuroatypicality I have is specifically towards trains, and so it doesn't pertain to Paradox games for some reason. I've tried playing it.
In
it's
Hearts
like
of Iron,
literally.
supply lines, you build trains, just so you know. You build.
I know, but I want to
create a
see the
whole
trains. I
train
want to see these
system.
like big, monstrous, you know,
Okay.
steel
I understand.
vehicles.
I understand.
Yeah, but at any rate, we were talking about how these guys are kind of blaming the victims and all this shit. And Crowder, again, who is, I think, monetized on YouTube, or well, no, he's gone, right? He's off YouTube.
I'm fucking know.
Is he still posting to
It
YouTube?
goes back and forth. He's always talking about how
My
fuck
man's
YouTube
kind of
and
falling
we're
off.
going
I'm not
to
gonna
Rumble.
lie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. That dude is worth over 40 million a year, brother. Fight like hell, Mug Club. He, with Jim Brewer.
I mean, he streamed 3 hours ago, so I guess.
Yeah,
4
there's a
hours
bunch
ago.
over here.
on
No
YouTube.
one's over here.
Well,
Isn't
so
that
YouTube is
amazing?
allowing this kind of speech to continue. I'm gonna show you this clip. This is the
Damn,
story
bro,
about.
his live streams get like 132K views on the VODs. He has fallen off a little bit.
Well, how long has it been up?
Bro, a day.
Let me pull it up.
I just click on his live tab. 1 day ago, 132K views. 3 days ago, 162K views.
Nice little upgrade.
2 days ago, 163K views.
And we move on to the
What is
farm.
his Rumble views like? If we can get it.
Well,
They've been really high.
yeah, let's.
I don't know how reliable.
What are
the
his
tower.
Rumble views like? Okay, well,
That's
what are
at
his
the
made-up
farm.
views like in his
Right,
mind?
exactly.
Right, because there's people aren't actually watching. Like, we know enough about YouTube. People on YouTube they will not go follow you to another platform for the most part. Because yeah, if you go to Rumble, they're saying his
And
video's
Rumble
getting, like, 2
itself,
million views.
and Rumble itself doesn't have enough active viewership to like justify having that kind of a major spike for one particular content creator over the other. One little trick is always to look at the second, third, fourth largest channels on any particular platform to see like whether or not there's a lot of activity going on. Ninja went from Twitch to Mixer. Mixer is a legit website owned by Microsoft, right? He went to Mixer. His audience drop off was severe. How do we know that? How do we know that those views were legit? Or because his audience drop off was severe. Whenever you see someone go from one platform to another, in that platform they're getting like way more views, and it's like, you know, Kick or Rumble or Getter or any number of these different platforms where they like are actively botting, most likely. Yeah. You will see them get more viewership, but then you look at like the second largest guy and he's got like 20 fucking views. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying, his views are pretty bad. I mean, our show actively gets like, I would say, 5 to 6 times these views per episode, and I'm not worth. I don't get. Where's my $40 million per year?
Well, you just
salary?
you know, say some transphobic shit. Real quick.
By the way, Hassan, eat this. Eat
Dude,
your ass.
oh my god.
You've been telling me I'm falling off, man. I agree.
awesome, bro.
Fucking
Sick.
badass, dude.
Also, are you going skiing? What the fuck? It looks sunny. Why are you wearing like Fortnite goggles?
Those are the non-fall-off shades, dude. Those are the hater shades, brother. Yeah, that's so. Ugh.
I don't think falling off means you're broke. By the way, you're missing the point.
Yeah, I mean, look, it clearly, you know, his braless wife is about to bring him a sandwich that he didn't ask for, by the way.
That's utopia, man.
Yeah, right there on the plane. So.
Okay, so here's a clip of Crowder. This is great. This is on YouTube with Jim Brewer, world famous comedian, now turned over.
Gonna go to
They
the mage
replaced
trainer,
Leprechaun
get our
with
new
him.
spells.
Yeah, what happened to my boy?
They didn't say. They booted him.
It's kind of sad.
I agree. They threw him out like a
I
used
hope
tampon.
he's doing all right, dude. I mean,
Sorry, is that offensive to the ladies? Throw him out like a used tampon? Or do you prefer?
I mean, you do throw them out.
It just, I like the image of him being a
what do you
used
think
tampon.
women carry?
You
keep
think
their
I saved them?
tampons after they use them? Like, what the fuck?
No, I'm saying, is it offensive that I'm invoke like a used tampon? Because I mean, I don't use tampons.
I mean, it's a little vulgar, but it doesn't.
What about a used?
Yeah, I don't find that my used tampons have any value to me. So you can totally call
I
it
love
a-
trying to understand how your mind
You don't
works
keep 'em like
sometimes.
Dexter
With
Morgan?
respect to what is controversial and what's not.
Listen, I don't use tampons. I don't know if some women might be like feel targeted because I'm saying used tampons. Like it's gross.
You'll be hypersensitive about
Don't
this
worry.
particular thing, but then you'll say something insane and be like, "What? What's wrong with you?"
I don't understand.
Look, because like a joke about like B wording the N place
Yeah.
is like so, in my opinion.
No, that
unfair.
wasn't what I was referencing. Anyway, let's just move on. Let's not,
Yeah, maybe
let's not test the button today, you know?
Whatever. Yeah, you're not the only one, by the way. But anyway, here's Crowder. Ralph Jarl is a 16-year-old black kid who went to the wrong house looking for his sister, picking up his sister.
No, his twin brother, I think.
Twin brother. I
I
thought it was
think, right.
younger sister.
I think you might be both right. I thought it was siblings plural that he was picking.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
And the guy this old white dude who lived there just fucking killed him. He just said, "Hey,
No,
dude."
he survived.
Oh, he
Shot
survived.
him.
He just shot him
Twice in the head and shoulder, I believe. But he miraculously survived.
And
Yes,
was he
shot him in the
charged
head
or-
once, and then he fell to the ground, and then he shot him in the arm.
They shot him twice, once while he was on the
Yeah.
ground. And of course, this is apparently considered legal in Missouri because you must be able to defend yourself in your home, the castle doctrine. And,
Oh, people are gonna get mad at you because you said Missouri. Wasn't it in?
Missouri law.
Wait, I thought. Wait, hold up.
Okay, so there were a bunch of incidents like this. In the
Oh
past
yeah,
week.
you're
I
right.
think
It
you're
was
getting
in
confused
Missouri.
with
You're right.
another one.
Fuck,
Yeah.
it was in
this
Kansas
one was
City.
in Missouri.
So he shot the kid in the head and he survived?
Yeah, crazy. I mean,
Is he okay?
He's gonna have a lifelong medical problems, I'm sure. Like, no, not really. But
By the way,
at least he survived.
Look at the picture of this fucking guy who did it. Look at this
Yeah.
guy.
He is okay.
Let's
so
arm this guy.
So let's get into
arm
it.
him.
So let's get into it. First of all, right off the bat, as soon as the news came out over the weekend that the media immediately lied and said they kept him in detention for 24 hours. That's bullshit.
Oh, they just let him go?
No, they talked to him for 2 hours and then they let him go.
This man shot a 16-year-old boy in the head.
When I found that
Got
out,
to
I
sleep at home.
Yeah, and when I found that out immediately, I was like, this is a fucking old racist guy who has a gun, who's out of his fucking mind from like watching a shitload of Fox News and you know all these like conspiracy theories that he gets on Facebook and on the internet or whatever. And I was right. 84 years old, Andrew Lester, a white homeowner in what they consider the neighborhood to be like a bit of a sundown neighborhood, I guess, shot Ralph Jarl, a black teenager who's 16 years old. And the cops basically questioned him for like a little bit, and then they were like, well, this is an old guy, you know, he's a good old boy. He's a good old man.
He was afraid.
Yeah. His grandson actually came out recently and talked to a Kansas newspaper, as a matter of fact, and said, and this will be a surprise to no one, that his grandfather has become a delusional person from watching a shit ton of right-wing media, became like an anti-vaxxer, a conspiracy theorist, and of course he owns a gun and is fucking, you know, perpetually terrified of black people coming into his neighborhood. Why, I wonder how he got this idea that like black people are coming to get him and, you know, steal his home or whatever. Perhaps local news owned by Sinclair Broadcasting and Fox News has to do with it, you know?
Fox News
Maybe.
and A-O-N or O-A-N.
Yeah.
But so now that we've set it up, so here's Crowder's response, okay? Let's see, you guys, where's he gonna take this?
Doesn't mean that Lester is a racist.
Exactly.
It could still mean that he saw a strange man,
Right.
you know, jiggling the handle on his door, trying to get in. He didn't know what was going on, got scared, and maybe he made a mistake.
Yeah. All
I mean,
those things are possible.
Yeah.
Even Ralph, the kid, he's a street kid, right? If I'm a street kid and I'm at a door and I see a white, older man approaching, and clearly I could tell if he's stressed, I would say, hey man, I may be at the wrong, I'm looking for my little brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of elements, but you're hitting on a subject where...
Yeah, so according to them, it was actually the 6-year-old boy who fucked up, who should have been more guarded.
Yeah.
He should have, and by the way, we don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
he probably saw a gun and did all the things they're saying.
If you're a black kid, if you're a 16-year-old black kid, like, you should wear Kevlar
Doesn't mean that Lester
everywhere you go. Because, like, you know, everyone has a gun. People are fucking terrified. They're going to shoot you. Like, you fucked up. You should definitely always wear a Kevlar vest.
By the way, this is the street kid they're referring to.
It's like, dude, this kid's been apparently asked, according to his mom, by Yale twice. He's like a super achiever. Doesn't even matter if he wasn't a fucking high achiever, though. Regardless, like
these guys are such racist.
It's a 16-year-old boy, and obviously,
fucking scumbag.
Obviously, a really consistent principle with like you know, white supremacist attacks or people who are just like otherwise, you know, terrified of black people is the consistent way that even in studies. White people end up thinking that black people are a lot older. You in your mind, assume that like black teenagers are actually full-blown adults. Happens to black women, happens to black men, black boys, and black girls all the time.
Well, regardless of age, according to the great minds over there, it's actually the fault lies on both sides. Clearly, as a street kid, you certainly should have known better. So
that's a street kid.
Yeah. That's actually probably the most racist way I've heard someone refer to a black person in a while. There it is. Steven Crowder, ladies and gentlemen. And Jim Brewer.
Good thing they got rid of Dave for Jim. Dave was the
Jim is
leprechaun guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would never imagine I would say this, but I prefer the leprechaun.
Yeah. He's claiming, the 84-year-old is claiming that he like opened the outside screen door, but the authorities don't believe that. The prosecutor said Ralph did not cross the threshold into the home at all. And for the record, even if he had, like, it's insane. You can't just like, if someone has two doors, and there's like a screen door, and you open it to see inside, like, hey, you know, I'm here to pick up my brother. You don't fucking have the right to shoot them, okay? The idea that you do is psychotic. It's like
doctrine, bro.
American fucking brain rot.
It says, according to Missouri law, a person may generally use physical force if the individual reasonably believes such force to be necessary to defend himself or herself or a third person from what he or she reasonably believes to be the use or imminent use of unlawful force by such a person. So, yeah, he was. I think it's reasonable to assume that he was afraid.
We have a lack of accountability for cops, and they utilize this all the time. That's why they get away with killing people. And then that's not enough. Not only have we armed every American and fucking terrified them through our media, that people are constantly out to get them, we've also given them the same legal authority to be able to kill people, both in your house and even outside of your house, because stand your ground is basically a continuation of the Castle Doctrine principles.
Dude, Halloween must be crazy in Missouri.
Yeah,
just taking shots.
Dude,
yo, everyone just shooting at each other.
In one way, I guess, like the weird, in a weird way, my brain is so broken about this, but The one aspect of this that I have seen is that the media loves crafting narratives. They love actually hyper focusing on things like after the Ohio train derailment and you know, TikTok and everyone else like constantly pressuring the media to cover it. Train derailments are not an anomaly, they happen all the time. The media started covering all of the toxic hazardous spills and the derailments that were occurring nonstop. And now they're actually covering stories of like people randomly being shot because they pulled up to someone's driveway in upstate New York where that 20-year-old girl was killed, or in Dallas, Texas, where that cheerleader was shot and is currently recovering in a hospital for getting into the wrong car.
Which is
this kind
oddly
of
in contrast with this claim that I don't understand why people don't believe, is that more guns equals more safe.
Mass shootings are horrifying, and they're abhorrent. They should not exist. But mass shootings are not the norm. The real gun violence, the iceberg, the rest of the iceberg, is actually this kind of accidental shootings. But what's even worse than that is obviously suicides by gun, using a gun when you're committing suicide, or accidental deaths because like an accidental misfire that happened. That is where the bulk of the fucking gun violence numbers come from. And I'm glad that the media is covering it a little bit more now. I'm glad that the media is focusing on this a little bit more now, because this is the real way that you know, a lot of Americans die for no fucking particular reason.
Yep.
Well, yeah, of course, like, if this dude didn't have a gun, then, you know, if a lot of these fucking morons didn't have guns, these murders wouldn't be happening. But according to somehow half of the country, more guns equals more safe, which is almost like a double think in a way. They've convinced themselves somehow that something is like on face value wrong, that's right. And somehow I really don't know how these people walk around and just
yeah. You want to hear some more
days.
fucked up another fucked up part of the story? Ralph gets shot. He's crawling away. Okay. Ralph said as he was running, he heard Mr. Lester say, "Don't come around here." Okay. That's number one. He is like seeking help. He seeks help in the first house, no answer. Second house, no answer. Third house he goes to, the person before they come outside, literally tells them to keep their hands in the air. Like,
that'd be awesome if he got shot again from the third door down.
The makeup of the neighborhood, to you know, I hope this is not surprising to anyone, is all white, except for one black family that recently moved in, which was notable enough for people in the neighborhood to recognize.
Bro, what year is this? That's crazy.
What do you mean? There's sundown towns all over this goddamn country. A lot of places are sundown towns that don't even realize that they're sundown towns because there's no black people there ever, so they don't even ever see it. They don't even recognize it.
All right, well, there it is. I'm glad he's alive. I hope he's okay. I don't know how people get shot in the head and survive, but
yeah,
hopefully.
It's just such luck of the draw. Like, you know, you hear stories about people that like they get shot in the head and the bullet's still in their brain, they can't remove it, and then they just like go on and live the rest of their life. Like,
they're like,
if it hits the right part or not, it's just luck of the draw, I guess.
Well, that's about all I've got.
What, you wanna
wait? We have.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Ali thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
wait,
fuck.
like one of the
Okay,
main stories.
We got to slam through this thing.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up the most pertinent part here. So Milo, as we said, who was canceled for being a pedo, he's a born-again Christian now, straight as an arrow.
Thank God.
He was converted into being straight. Here he's revealing text messages from Ali. You don't even. So this is. Let's see. You don't even send me videos in. So this is a video of him talking with a then 15-year-old.
Right.
This was a young conservative kid who wanted to meet Milo, I believe. And Danny, or Ali, being a gatekeeper, a friend, associate of Milo, said, this 15-year-old, I'll hook you up, but you gotta send me dick pics and jerk-off videos. 15-year-old.
I'm so shocked.
he's now 21 years old, and I guess he's sharing these messages with Milo and the like.
He's still a freak, by the way. Make no mistake. Like he is
Who, Milo?
absolutely. Well,
No,
they're
the
all
the
freaks,
victim.
but the one who was like victim of grooming is like still very much, if I'm not mistaken, a Nazi. Was outed as a Nazi when he was like working for the Colorado branch of like Donald Trump's campaign. This is the funny part about this like otherwise dark but totally expected story, is that these guys are like, Doug, we got into this for the love of the game. Like we want to make sure that we get the pedophiles out of our Nazi movement. You know what I mean? Like they're like, no, we're like actually Nazis. We just don't want the pedophile stuff. Like what the fuck are you
And they've
doing?
all been secretly sending dick and masturbation videos to each other. He's like, I know this dude Ali's a pedo, by the way, but let's not say anything about him. You don't send me videos anymore, Ali said. No good jack-off material. Don't even want to be by my side piece, but I understand. Wonder if you need to come hang out for a week in Texas, an internship. When are you coming to Texas? To then 15-year-old. There's more.
Yeah, so basically just demonstrating on top of like the sex stuff was like using connections, like, oh, this is how you'll come up in the conservative sphere.
Actually blows my mind that like,
dude, the alt-right America First is a lot. They're running it a lot like Harvey Weinstein did.
dude, I don't really. Okay, there's a couple things here again that is kind of hilarious in a dark way, but it's like you're sending dick pics to Ali Alexander, formerly known as Ali Akbar, specifically so that you can hang out with fucking Dan Bongino at CPAC. Okay,
Milo,
it's like the wackest. It is so fucking lame. Like your aspirations should be higher. Holy fuck! Like your goal is to be next to the McCloskeys or Lauren Boebert. Like that's your goal in this circumstance. That's the peak of your fucking career, is so that you can be like a professional racist for one of these Republican blowhards. Insane.
Yeah, so Ali Alexander is this guy. I'll just show you for people who missed the beginning. He is a Stop the Steal, alt-right, freakazoid.
Protege of Roger Stone, by the way.
Yeah.
He's friends.
Also
with
is a
Nick
sex
Fuentes.
pest too. I mean,
Yeah.
Roger Stone.
I thought there was more DMs than this, but so Nick Fuentes now, everybody's saying, yo, his fans are turning on him saying, yo, why didn't you stop this earlier? You go on and on about pedophiles and sex predators all show long, yet you had one working with you that you knew about. So here his defense of that.
Milo has always hated Ali, and he talks about everybody in this way. He said that Kanye was gay. He says that Jesse Lee Peterson's gay. He says that Candace Owens'
Jesse Lee
husband is
Peterson
gay.
gay? Yeah.
He says that everybody's gay. So
I think there's a lot of
people
gay
have to
people.
understand.
I mean,
and
might be
if
right.
you look at his telegram, this is the case. It's all over there. And I know that Ali was bisexual. I know that that's the case, and I know that he's flirty. Like he flirted with me when I was, 19 or 20. And
Maybe a little younger.
And he had flirted with other people.
Okay, so Nick says, listen, he accuses everyone of being gay. But then, Milo dropped the DMs. This is what he sent him in January 2022. I want to flag something re-Ali.
I like that, once again, the problem here is that they're gay, not that they're pedophiles. I want to point this out really quickly.
Right.
For those who keep missing the mark, they are literally like the fucking Catholic Church in the sense that they're like, well, our priest might have done some grooming, maybe they did some pedophilia, but they're certainly not gay. Please don't say that they're gay. Like,
Well,
that's the main point of contention here. Oh, God.
When did God ever say don't fuck kids?
You know what?
Is that in the Bible?
You know what? I don't know if that's in the Bible,
I'm going to
brother.
ask ChatGPT. It'll tell me immediately.
ChatGPT lies a lot.
No, never. Not to me.
And it's also
not to me.
ChatGPT is by the devil, brother.
Does the Bible have passages that against sexual acts with minors? The Bible does not. And then it it stopped it because it said it says does not. The Bible does not. That's all I got. And then they're like, I can't do this.
I'm just like Googling around too, and there is no direct mention of pedophilia in the Bible. Numerous biblical principles that definitely apply to the sin. Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot that's not in the Bible that people have just interpreted differently anyway. So
Right.
it doesn't really fucking matter. Everybody picks and chooses. We all know that. Everyone's a fake Christian.
Okay, I'm trying to be less specific and see if this works.
the Bible does not specify any particular age requirement for a person to be married.
Is that awesome?
Speaks in general terms of marriage for those who are, quote, grown up. Okay, I mean, that's saying, like...
Again, it just says the Bible does not specifically, and then they cut it. They're like, nope.
They're like, nope, we're not getting involved in this one.
This content may violate our content policy. So there it
Right.
is. Gay,
fair
bad, pedophilia, kind of dope.
Amazing.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
quote unquote.
I mean, we know that already because the very same people that are like, gay people are groomers, gay people are groomers, gay people are pedophiles, are the same people who literally want to, abolish age of consent laws or want to legalize child brides, child marriages. A lot of these people, including Matt Walsh, have defended child marriages. Ben Shapiro has defended child marriages. Tucker Carlson has defended child marriages. Like, these guys only care about what they perceive as like pedophilia, which is just like a queer person existing. That's the only bad thing.
A drag show.
When it's like good, wholesome Christian white boys doing this thing, it's fine. God wanted that, as God intended.
So Nick says, hey, I couldn't know. He was saying that everyone's gay. So Milo dropped these DMs from the beginning of last year. He said, I wanted to flag something re Ollie Alexander. In case this hasn't reached you, I have 3 boys who are going on the record saying Ali groomed and or molested them. So again, he's even going like, look, he's a pedo.
Yeah.
They were molested or groomed under the promise of career opportunity.
What did Nick say to that? Let's
It's an open secret in gay right-wing circles, and all will be toppling out soon. My instincts tells me the Christianity stuff is insincere and desperate. Nick says, oh boy, okay, thanks for the heads up. That's gonna be not good for me, but if he's raping kids, he shouldn't be in politics. Shouldn't be in politics.
I mean, he should maybe be in jail.
Yeah, just not politics. So
weird way to word that.
Milo said typical grooming stuff will come out this year. Whether I release it or not, there's a circle of alley casualties who are in touch with one another and actively seeking to get their stories out. Climbing into bed with 16, 17-year-olds, etc. And Nick just said, bruh.
Bruh moment. Bruh.
So he knew about this, like, the whole time. Crazy, huh?
Well, at least since the beginning of last year, which, you know...
is a long time ago.
Yeah, before all of the Kanye stuff went down and everything. Because this Ali Alexander guy, correct me if I'm wrong, Hassan, but he was part of the crew that was advising Kanye during his whole Nazi arc that he had last year.
I don't remember if
I know Milo and Nick were involved, and I'm pretty sure Ollie was like went to Mar-a-Lago with them and all that stuff when they did dinner with Trump.
Ollie Alexander was also part of the team alongside Milo Yiannopoulos, and like then I think they pushed out Milo, which is why like Nick and Allie stayed, and they pushed out Milo.
Here's the crew. Alex Jones, who cannot stop talking about demon pedophiles, is here pictured with one that apparently this dude even knew about at the beginning of last year. So here's a pedo and a pedo protector, and here is the guy who tells you that pedophiles are everywhere.
Dude,
and
every other week
together.
there's like a high-level GOP official that is outed as like having terabytes of fucking child porn or like literally sex trafficking minors to have sex with them or whatever, and it doesn't fucking matter. The movement doesn't even flinch.
Doesn't slow down. They don't
It
slow-
doesn't
yeah.
slow down. Obviously, I've said this time and time again, but like every accusation is a confession by these fucking freaks, okay? Every single one. They are the actual pedophiles, and what do you do when you're a real pedophile? You just say other people are pedophiles because everybody understands that pedophilia is fucking bad. It's the most abhorrent thing you can fucking do. So you just keep saying, no, it's not me, it's all those other people. Just like that fucking QAnon guy who has has talked a big game about, like, you know, killing pedophiles and whatever. Literally convicted pedophile who, like, served a prison sentence for it, and he's like, you know, leading
Oh, the guy
movement.
from the Channel 5 video?
Yeah, exactly. These guys have all done this shit.
Yes, so this is really interesting. Milo's been trying to warn folks about him, I guess, for a while. Here's Milo on Alex Jones' show. So Alex actually also is familiar with this accusation. Quite.
There are those.
So here he is on InfoWars.
Homosexuals still scrambling for attention, scrambling for money, and I look at them and I see where I was, and I am a greatly enhanced, I think, human being compared to. I watch them now, you know, the sort of the Ali Alexanders and, you know, whatever.
Women
people
are
sort
so
of try to
hot.
keep their homosexuality under wraps, but not very successfully. And I think to myself, if I could only get, you know, half an hour in the room with these guys and try to explain to them, try to show them the sort of peace and calm, and by the way, enormously heightened effectiveness that you get from drawing closer to your spiritual life. You know, I just wish I could get them all in the room, because they're some of them are.
Well, I want to be clear. I know Ollie. I didn't know any of that. I just,
Alex.
Yes,
Alex
for me, I
is
just
there.
think Sammy.
He just said his name.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a great detail for you when you're done with this.
We're fighting the good fight, brother.
You want to know one thing? Like, it's kind of like when your character is such in the dumps that, like, you kind of get to a point where, like, you can't be further character assassinated. Like, you can't defame someone who's in the muck, you know? Right. That's kind of the thing with these guys. Like, they're all such disgusting scumbags with audiences full of also disgusting scumbags, because they are marginal. And the people that gravitate towards that kind of commentary are, like, actual fucking freaks.
A lot of them, though.
Yeah, that, like, this kind of stuff doesn't really move the needle for them. Like, they don't really give a shit. They kind of like it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, there are a lot of normal people.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, they're hypocritical about pedophilia. Okay, who cares? Is, like, the attitude that people have. Like, we can look at it from our end of the spectrum, our end of the political spectrum, and go, wow, that's fucking insane. Like, these guys are infighting. But there's a reason why I rarely ever give them any credence or any coverage whatsoever.
I hope that people watching this who are fans of Crowder or Shabibo and seen clips of maybe Fuentes or Milo that they like, that they'll see this and be like, oh, where's the Crowder video on this? Where's the Ben Shapiro video on this? This conspiracy. You know, these people are cowards.
Probably won't be seeing it anytime.
You will not be seeing it.
And yeah, this is what I wanted to point out, is that you were saying the photo of all of them together that Nick Fuentes was covering up for it. Alex Jones, in a way, was as well, because that clip that we just watched on InfoWars, they edited out that section.
Yo.
Yeah, this account had it archived. That's what we just watched, but they say if you go...
Yeah, they were doing a massive cover-up.
Yep.
There you go.
Probably talk about that, Alex. You talk about pedophiles enough, man. You were just photographed with one, and now you're covering up for him.
I call him Clammy Davis Jr. because he's quite fond of 19-year-olds. But no, he's
oh, come on, don't listen. I don't know anything about that.
Actually, he was fond of 16-year-olds too.
Right.
About it.
All right. Okay.
Ollie's a nice guy, but seriously, let's expand on that.
Hey, Alex is like, hey. He's like, Hillary Clinton's a demonic pedophile demon. Hey,
Whoa,
watch it about my boy
Let's
Alex.
not go throwing crazy accusations around here.
So there you go. They're all scumbags. They're all liars. They're total giant. There it is. You know what I mean?
There it is.
That's all we have to say today. Right, Hassan?
Yeah. It's one of those things, like I said, where I feel like I need a fucking hazmat suit to, like, look at any of this shit. Like, I feel like it gives me psychic damage every time I see people live lives like this. The worst part about it
Fox
is that...
we're running out of time. Fox News, did we talk about the settlement? A little bit.
You mentioned it really
Yeah, they
quickly.
paid out
It's not that
to Minion.
big
Thank
deal.
you. Sorry, go ahead, Hassan.
Well, all I was going to say is, like, it's even sadder that there are people that follow these guys who go deeper and darker into the precipice of hell, into the depths of hell. For those who, you know, are hate watching maybe right now, or looking for a clippable moment or whatever, salvation is possible. You can change your attitude, you can change your mind, but it all starts with, you know, moving away.
Bro,
from
why are
these
you
places.
tweeting during our show? You just
Because
tweeted 6 minutes ago.
I'm being defamed.
No, it literally says
I'm being
6 minutes ago.
I'm being defamed, which is why I had to counter it immediately.
What were you? What happened?
Well, now that my check mark is gone, immediately my own stands are changing their profile picture to mine, names that are close to mine, and they're saying, they're
I'm
they're
gay.
tweeting shit like I'm gay.
So
Okay, but your editor did it
I mean,
too.
come on, dude. You know what I mean? Can't you do the I'm gay stuff like in 10 minutes?
I didn't tweet that, Ethan.
Hassan the HUD, you tweeted
Oh no,
that.
I tweeted the
yeah.
other one. Yeah. Well, I had to defend myself.
You're not gay. Ew, gross.
Yeah, I had to defend myself from the gay allegation.
Ew, gross.
Yeah, ew, never.
All right, thank you guys.
It's a joke for everyone. I mean, I am not gay, but we're joking when we say ew, gross, before people freak the fuck out over it.
Ew, gay people.
All right, let's take us out.
Thank you guys. We love ya. Thanks for being here. Tomorrow's episode is gonna be awesome. We're gonna play Guess Who's High.
Like this one, apparently.
This one, it turned out to be not that good.
Oh, what the fuck? I love
My
it.
co-host is tweeting the whole time. I mean, what?
Not the whole time. I had to
All right, the
defend
song's almost
myself.
over. See you
but
next.
yeah, tomorrow we're
Okay.
doing that, and
Alright, what else can we watch? To fill in the blank spaces of fucking sitting here for an hour to kill mobs that I could have got done so quickly. There we go. Oh, wait, I'm already done. Why did it take so long to update? Wait, oh, I got the face mask.
Well done, adventurer. My scout witnessed your valiant acts. You are proving yourself quite well so far.
Yay, kill another 30.
Defias villagers has been seen plundering the Gold Coast Quarry, Moonbrook, and the Alexton farmstead. The People's Militia will not stand for such behavior. Dispatch immediately, adventurer, and make the light's presence known in Westfall. The Gold Coast Quarry is near the shore, to the west of the tower. As the next step of your training, I want you to kill 15 of those foul Defias pillagers and 15 Defias looters. Nice work, person. Please accept one of these items as payment for all your hard work. Go with honor, friend.
Welcome to my inn, weary traveler. What can I do for you? Safe travels.
Every masterpiece has its cheap copy, and with the explosion of extraction looters, it would be hard to ignore a fairly new entry into the genre, Expedition Agartha. By the way, the name of this game is ridiculous, so I'm going to be giving it a different name every time I reference it. I found out about this game on the Dark and Darker subreddit, where someone, who definitely isn't a dev, posted about how much fun it is. So, with it going free to play recently, I figured I'd give it a try, and that's what I did. After I created my character and made peace with the fact that games never include Latino people in their customization options, I hopped right into an extremely long tutorial. One where I fisted some dudes, cooked some rice, and cosplayed as the last bottom at an orgy. Fuck, I actually died. From there, I was able to give it a real try. I accidentally picked the gladiator-style game mode for my first attempt at Expedited Aggravator. It felt like a unique twist on the genre, where you spawn into a small area, get some loot, and after a certain amount of time, the gates drop and you're forced to fight your neighbor. I won, of course, because of my great game sense and accuracy. And was rewarded with what I would soon find to be a rarity in this game, an actual human person.
Yo, come over here.
Oh my god,
Take this.
Wait, you're a real person?
Yeah. Here, take this. Get close.
I mean, this is about as close as I can get, man. And then he tried to betray me. Oh, that's so rude. So I pushed on and prepared myself for round 2, this time with a more Quaker-like approach, and decided not to swing at the guy even once. I'm not sure if this was a bug, game design, or the inevitability of death solely grasping at my motor functions, reminding me I don't have the reflexes of a 16-year-old anymore. Either way, I lost, and was banished to my watery grave. A yacht. Jeff Bezos who? Get in line, Baldy, because there's a new boss in town, and his name is... I won't lie, I was very confused when I first loaded in. Okay, there's guns in this game. Wait, fireworks. Like a drunk cop on New Year's Eve, there seemed to be someone firing a gun in the distance. Regardless, I trucked on and fought my way through a few tanky enemies, finding what would soon be my op crutch in this game, the humble kunai knife. Ayaya, weaves in. Anyway, I followed the smokestack, hoping it would lead me to an extract. That's where I found someone who I thought was a friendly, but turned out to be an AI. And he brought a friend. So I killed them both, anime style, and continued on my journey. Okay. That smoke led me to a giant fight, consisting of more AI and, coincidentally, a giant.
Bring me that loot.
So I retreated, and looked for help from my new friend, this rabbit. He was of no use, but his company was comforting enough, and I enjoyed the walk cycle. I eventually found the extract and was rewarded with a whole lot of nothing. I tried my luck with a few more raids, this time careful to pick up the quest item I needed to enter the next island. Overall, this was a fun experience, and something you don't get in these types of extraction looters. As far as I know, there aren't a lot that have this sort of prerequisite, and I'm kind of surprised. Unfortunately, as I alluded to before, I didn't stumble into any other real people in my matches. Even with 11 other people supposedly joining the raid, it felt more like PvE than anything, which would have been fun if the PvE was anything more exciting than just slashing, backstepping, and blocking. Even the parry system seemed to be a fun addition to combat, but I could never land it. Instead, every enemy I went up against seemed to be 1,000 hours deep into the game and able to perfectly parry like a Cuphead expert. Overall, this game has a lot of interesting mechanics in it, whether that's the Dark Souls backstep, armor enchanting, cooking, questing, actually meaningful in-raid loot. I can't help feeling like there's a lot of wasted potential. I mean, you have aspects of several really good games wrapped into one, and yet the game has peaked with 400 players on Steam. And sure, there's a lot of problems with it. Enemies get stuck in the geometry constantly. The ones that don't can be easily kited unless they have a crossbow, which then gives them laser-like precision. Maybe there's too much loot. Maybe there's too much going on, which could make your average player feel overwhelmed with all the choices. I think that's a good thing.
That was
Only it's
awesome.
implemented in a more polished game. Could that be Exploration Agave?
I
Absolutely.
completely
Consisting
missed
of
the
more
whole
AI,
video though, because I was talking to
weaves
him.
in, regardless, weaves in. Anyway, I followed the smokestack, hoping it would lead me to an extract. That's where I found someone who I thought was a friendly, but turned out to be an AI. And he brought a friend.
I actually really had fun playing it. I played this game, Expedition Agartha, last night for like 4 hours. It was like really chilling. It's not like great, but it does scratch that looter itch
That smoke led me to a
that
giant
Dark and
fight
Darker kind of
consisting
gives.
More AI and, coincidentally, a giant.
Should I try to fight a 17? No, I'll
And
die.
looks for help from my new friend, this rabbit. He was of no use, but his company was comforting enough,
Let's
and
try
I
it.
enjoyed the walk cycle. I eventually found the extract and was rewarded with a whole lot of nothing. I tried my luck with a few more raids, this time careful to pick up the quest item I needed to enter the next island. Overall, this was a fun experience, and something you don't get in these types of extraction.
Yeah,
levels.
see, it was
As far as I
fun.
know, there aren't a lot that have this sort of prerequisite, and I'm kind of surprised. Unfortunately, as I alluded to before, I didn't stumble into any other real people in my matches. Even with 11 other
No real people,
supposedly
yeah.
joining the raid, it felt more like PvE than anything, which would have been fun if the PvE was anything more exciting than just slashing, backstepping, and blocking. Even the parry system seemed to be a fun addition to combat, but I could never land it. Instead, every enemy I went up against seemed to be 1,000 hours deep into the game and able to perfectly parry like a Cuphead expert. Overall, this game has a lot of interesting mechanics in it, whether that's the Dark Souls backstep, armor enchanting, cooking, questing, actually meaningful in-raid loot. I can't help feeling like there's a lot of wasted potential. I mean, you have aspects of several really good games wrapped into one, and yet the game has peaked with 400 players on Steam. And sure, there's a lot of problems with it. Enemies get stuck in the geometry constantly. The ones that don't can be easily kited unless they have a crossbow, which then gives them laser-like precision. Maybe there's too much loot. Maybe there's too much going on. Could make your average player feel overwhelmed with all the choices. I think that's a good thing, if only it's implemented in a more polished game. Could that be Exploration Agave? Absolutely, in time though. This game came out last year. It wasn't until March of 2023 that it went free to play. I can't help but feel that Dark and Darker, which has less and hasn't been open to the public as long, does a lot of these things better. Clunkiness here feels like a result of poor design.
That's
whereas
not
Dark
out
and
yet,
Darker feels
so
like a choice, or at least something that gives the game character. But Dark and Darker gives a much more simplified and rewarding experience for players. I have no doubt this game could be huge, or even at the least fun to play. Right now, it feels too early access for early access. I look forward to seeing what the devs cook up, but in the meantime, I'm gonna give it a pass.
no, I was having fun with it. It's not that bad. They definitely have a lot of work to do, but if they can polish out the combat and make it feel better,
I'm the founder of Matryoshka Games, and I'm the
it's
lead
definitely
producer
got a
working
lot
on
of
Expedition
potential.
Agartha.
So for those who don't know what this game is, talk about what this game's all about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for the short version, it's basically medieval Tarkov. And if you want the long version, well, it's a PvPvE hardcore multiplayer medieval looter survival game set on the lost continent of Mu, in which players delve deep into the earth to find the secrets of Agartha.
Now this is interesting because you mentioned Tarkov, and Tarkov's a really hardcore game. Like if you die, you lose everything. There's an in-game economy, like all that good stuff. Like is that the same kind of game this is? Like it is still super hardcore, like permadeath. You lose all your loot. Like you're gonna go through seasons. There's gonna be an in-game economy, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, we're still in early access, so all features aren't there yet. For example, we don't have a player marketplace yet, but you know, there's opportunities for players to figure out a trade their own way, and yes, there is kind of like an economy already. And yeah, you will lose everything when you die. There is insurance though, so things that you don't get looted will return to you.
Can you talk about like the art style? It's very like, I don't want to say cartoony, but it's very stylistic, which is good. Like I think when games try to look too surreal, they can get dated really fast. It's part of the reason Warcraft is still successful, I think, because they have a really unique art design. So does your game. It's very like animated,
Warcraft,
very
that's what I'm
cartoony, very
playing.
cell shading look.
They
Right,
said it.
yeah, we went for like this very stylized
I'm in a kind of dangerous
so,
spot right
help
here,
us
but if I
differentiate us
just play safe,
between
I should be okay.
other games.
As long as no one
And
spawns on me.
Honestly, it just, you know, it makes it easier for us to produce some assets. It makes it harder for us in other ways. Kind of like bridges the gap between like Sea of Thieves or Fortnite and like a little bit more gritty, because we got a lot of like gore and blood too. So
Now talk about your combat system, because I know sometimes in melee-centric games, especially in first-person
Like the game too,
combat,
the
it can be a
NPCs
bit
when you're
tricky.
fighting
Talk
them,
about, like, you have
the
a
girls
pick,
would be like,
you have, like, a
cocksucker.
dodge, and you have lots of different melee weapons.
They call you
Talk about that.
cocksuckers
The
while
way
you're
the
fighting
combat
them.
is designed
It's hilarious.
is to make it easy for casuals to learn. So, you know, it's like a lot of melee games you'll find like directional combat to be a mechanic, and some pretty, you know, crazy mechanics that you really have to, you know, be understanding and good at to play well. We're trying to lower the bar there, so like players who aren't familiar with the melee combat system can jump right in and feel right in place. The controls, you know, there's, if you're blocking, you just gotta block. There are parries, which is pretty important. And parries are kind of just like blocking at the right time. So, you know, it's more about positioning, because like, you know, depending on the length of the weapon and where you are, you know, especially with dodging, which is really critical as well, especially in this type of game where, you know, when there's 3 players running at you and you're solo, you're probably gonna die. It's very important to be aware of your surroundings and your footwork, and, you know, being able to move aside of a swing and step right in with an attack to hit an enemy who's like mid combo, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about this world we'll be exploring in the game. Like, I mean, is it specific servers that we log into and that's where our character lives, or is it like one big world that we all share and fade in and out of instances?
Every player has their own save data, and you know, it's not like one big server like an MMO. Everything is instanced, so you will be on your own servers, even in the hub world. But you know, you can like join a party, you can party up with your friends and be in the same hub world and like kind of look at each other, mess around with each other, and trade with each other while you're looking for a real game. And once you get put into the game, you get put in the game with total 12 players, and the server lasts 30 minutes, and you gotta go in, kill, loot, survive, and extract before the server ends, or else you will die.
So there's like there's a timer for you to complete your mission, or your what do you call like dungeons in your game? Do you have a specific name for them, like when you go out and scavenge, or when you're going through
Yeah,
like,
we call them expeditions.
Oh, like, so it's not just a clever name. Expedition Egg. It's like, and how many?
The terminology is thrown all over the place, but I would like to call them expeditions.
Now, how many different types of expeditions? We saw a lot of different biomes in your trailer. Like we saw like underground caverns and forests. Obviously, there's a very Caribbean theme in this as well, or at least in your home base, it's very Caribbean, very beachy, very Sea of Thieves, as you called it.
Yeah. So we have 3 maps available to play right now. The first map is like the surface world. It's like Lost Island, and there's a day-night cycle on this map. And around the 20-minute mark, the sun will start setting, and it starts becoming like a survival horror situation in which corrupted zombies come out and start hunting you down if you don't get out. Kind of like Dying Light.
So nighttime's super dangerous.
Yeah. Nighttime on the first map is particularly dangerous. You don't want to be caught out there unprepared, unless you're specifically trying to, you know, hunt down corrupted zombies. In the other maps, there's less focus on the day-night cycle, but you know, everything's just more cranked up and difficult. All enemies are harder. All the loot is better. You know, it gets more. The visuals get crazier as you enter like lost underground cities.
Now, games like these are always intimidating to me because, especially survival games like Ark or Tukov or whatever, is because their interface is very intimidating. Can be very intimidating. You talk about like how people are going to craft, switch weapons, go through inventory, pull things out, collect things, and like kind of paint a picture of how you're handling your inventory system in Expedition Agatha.
Yeah, you know, the inventory system in my eyes right now currently isn't perfect, but you know, it gets the job done. We tried to make it as minimalistic as possible, so you know, the joke between me and my friends is that Escape from Tarkov is actually called the Escape from Inventory.
Right.
Because that's like the real game. And you know, to an extent, like half our game is looting and management of your inventory and your stash. But I'm hoping that, you know, the way we've designed it is simple to understand enough to the point where, you know, you can just do your thing and jump right into the meat of the game, which is going into your expedition and stuff. And of course, you know, I mean, players have a whole setup on their character to deal with, like helmet, chest piece, gloves, boots, primary, secondary, consumable slots for like potions and food and stuff. So you're gonna have these are the kind of things that you are preparing while you're on the boat before you do an expedition.
Can you talk about like how death works in your game? You mentioned there is insurance. You do lose everything, but how do you like keep weapons or regents or recipes that you find in the world? I'm assuming you have some kind of stash. You throw it in, and that's always safe there. But if you take it out, like, is it gone forever and you use it, or do you know it permanently, like for a recipe, for example?
Everything you find in the game, you can lose. You want to keep stuff in the stash, like particularly if you find like recipes or knowledge, you want to stick them in your stash. And you know, we have all sorts of chests for organizing your stuff. We have like bolt quivers, weapon chests, armor chests, food bins, document briefcases. And the document briefcase where you'll probably be storing all the pieces of lore or like recipes that you want to collect.
What does this game do differently when compared directly to Tarkov or something as big as like Rust?
Yeah, well, you know, this game is very, very unique. I don't think there's any other game that is like it out there on the market right now. You know, just
on the market. Yeah, he had to say on the market because Dark and Darker is coming out soon.
Based game with melee focus is, you know, there's nothing else like it. Like the first thing that you'll notice already is, obviously it's a PvP game, so you're probably gonna get out there and get killed, but it already gives you an opportunity to
hey, the frostbite worked.
And there's less pressure to shoot on sight. You know, the other games like Hunt Showdown or The Cycle or Tarkov or Marauders, it's like you don't really have an avenue of communication. You see an enemy moving, it's like, okay, we're gonna shoot him first or he's gonna shoot us. Like one of us is gonna die here. In this game, you have an opportunity to walk up to each other, do a little role playing. You know, you have moments to prepare and decide whether this is a fight you want to take or you want to just have a little chat and wish someone well on their way. And it allows for a lot more funny social interactions, I guess, in game.
Now you do have, like you said, zombies are one type of enemy that you'll be facing in this game, or you call them something else. They're in your game specifically.
There are regular zombies who are just out there. They're easy to kill. There's also corrupted zombies. They're like the special zombies that come out at night, or the ones that you find deep in the game.
Now, can you like, do you have ranged weapons in this game as well? Do you have like bows and arrows? Like, do you have?
Yeah, there are crossbows. There's gonna be no magic. That's not something we're going for. You know, this game is supposed to be like a low dark fantasy, like historical type thing. You know, so we want to focus on like real world weapons, real world armor, real world martial arts. Magic in this ability is probably limited to just like, you know, like magical seals you could put on your gear to upgrade them a certain way, but there will be no throwing fireballs or any of that.
Or lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Is there like an end to this game? Can you actually win and like complete it?
There's no like win game condition where you like, you know, the credits start rolling. It's one of those games where, you know, like the journey is created by you, the player, and you know, it's like, I guess technically once you've looted everything and collected all the best armor and defeated all the enemies, bosses, explored all the maps, technically you have beaten the game, but you know, there's an infinite amount of, I guess, multiplayer content, like an online interactions. That's the real meat of the game.
Now, like with other survival games, do I have to worry about being online? Can like my stash get raided if I'm not playing in real time, and I have to be there to defend it, or are you a little bit more casual in that regard?
There's no like, you know, base building or base raiding or anything like that. So if you're offline, you're just offline, and the only way you can actually lose stuff is by playing in an expedition.
What is having the game enter early access opened up for your team, like from feedback wise and bug fixes and all that stuff?
It's pretty crazy, I guess. You know, it's like opening the game to like thousands of people who are just playing now. It's been really good to help us find bugs. We've been like patching almost every day since we released, and trying to make sure the game is stable, trying to fix exploits. You know, these gamers are hardcore. You know, they'll find everything wrong. They'll just do the craziest things. Like we had a really, like when we launched day one, we had a real problem with fast attack situations with like daggers and fists, because you could like stun lock people. You'll find some videos and streams about it, but it was chaos because you just have like a bunch of naked people shouting slurs at you, punching you to death, and you just couldn't do anything about it. But we fixed that.
It's tough because like I mean like when there's a small people, even the friends and family beta, you have like maybe 50, 60 people playing it. Then when you get thousands of people playing it, tens of thousands, you see all these things that you're like, I can't believe we missed that. Like some guys, like you said, gamers will find a way to exploit, to rig the system to win, or get an advantage.
Exactly.
Can you talk about like how deep your crafting system is? Like, is it on par with other survival games? Is it simplistic? Is it super complicated?
I don't think gamers will be coming to this game for the crafting system. You know, the crafting system is there to give you an avenue to explore some of the content in the game, such as like cooking, or upgrading your gear, or like, you know, kind of putting together the key that you need to enter the next map. It's not in-depth crafting. It's not a game where, you know, we're gonna expand upon it, but you know, it's like, it's no more in-depth than
I hope they expand upon it. I hope they make it
like basic
better.
crafting, nothing too
make
crazy,
it feel
like
a little
in Minecraft
smoother.
or other
I mean,
survival games,
I compare it to Minecraft because really what you're doing is throwing a bunch of stuff into a container, and if the ingredients equal something, then you get an output. So.
And you guys also have a currency in your game. You have gold is one currency. Like, is there like an in-game auction house that's player run? Are there vendors? Like, what is the gold used for? I'll obviously probably repairing gear as well.
Yeah, so gold is used to buy stuff from NPCs, and it's also used to upgrade your equipment stations, which will allow you to craft more advanced things. We have plans for a player auction house in the future, but you know, it's out of scope for now.
And then where can people go to support your game? You mentioned you're in early access. Are you anywhere else? Like, are you on coming to console anytime soon or anything like that?
I don't think we're coming to consoles anytime soon. In fact, the game just, you know, it doesn't work without a keyboard and mouse. The whole inventory system would require a, you know,
overhaul.
Yeah. Overhaul to work with a controller. So yeah, it's gonna be a while before we come to console. It's pretty much only on Steam, early access PC right now.
And so where can people go to support?
I'll be right back. Let's get out of the road.
Support your game. You said Steam. Do you guys have a Discord?
Yeah.
Talk with the community and give out all your social channels as well, so people can get in contact with you if they have feedback or want to play your game or want to purchase it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, it's like if you buy the game, you can open the game and it'll take you right to your Discord. If you want to just join our Discord without buying the game, you can also do that. Yeah, it's probably gonna be at least another year for sure. You know, it depends on how things go. There's no definitive answer. You know, things like that are always unknown when it comes to game development. I guess we didn't really talk about the actual the setting of the game, which is, you know, one half of the game that I guess would be interesting for people who are, you know, interested in conspiracies and stuff. You know, the whole Agartha thing.
So there's like a murder mystery, like talk about the story of this world. There's like a murder mystery thing happening where you're exploring some kind of ancient ruins or kind of finding out what's going on.
Yeah, so you know, while making the game, I have actually successfully convinced myself that Agartha does exist, and you know, it's like one of those things where you just have to be wrinkly brained enough to connect all the dots. And the idea here is that, you know, like, we even right now with all our modern technology and knowledge, we don't know the truth about our own ancient past. And I think, you know, it's like people are actively trying to actually prevent new theories and knowledge from becoming mainstream for some reason. And, you know, our game explores the idea of, you know, inner Earth civilizations. And you can see this in multiple creation myths from around the world, which is really strange to me, you know? It's like, why are multiple mythologies and cultures around the world talking about how humans came from inside the Earth? Or what's with the global obsession with, like, some race of ancient snake people? Like, that's, like, everywhere, you know? From Asia to the Americas. There's all these crazy things that don't really make any sense until you connect the dots, and then it just makes sense. And it's kind of what we're doing with the Gartha here. We're putting together all these mythologies, all these religions, all these crazy conspiracy theories, and it all connects to the central dot, which is a concept of Agartha. And yeah, it's just this IP has so much room to grow. Like, I'm so excited to being able to produce new content and get more crazy.
Hello and welcome, this is Gates 3, and this is another video. Today we're looking at Expedition Agartha. Is it worthwhile? Is it worth checking out? And is it dark and darker? Let's find out. When you join in, immediately you create a character. You create the apex predator that you will be embodying, a face that represents the bane of the server, and players will know to fear you and your like. After you create your character, you get thrown into a tutorial, which I think does a pretty good job of explaining to you how to play the game. After completing the tutorial, you get sent to a kind of a home base that serves as a jumping off point for future expeditions. There you'll find a bunch of crafting tables and merchants that will give you quests and kind of direction within the game. There are two different delves you can choose to go on. One of them is freebooter, the other one is mercenary. In freebooter, you're able to go in with nothing, with two different game options, and leave with what you take with you. In the mercenary option, you go in with gear, and if you die, you lose it, and if you take out more stuff, then you leave with more stuff. You can insure your gear in mercenary unless a player takes it. I think this is a unique mechanic, it's kind of cool, and it works well in this game. For the most part, you can have fun in this game. It's not going to be dark and darker. The combat's not like dark and darker. It's similar in that you use swords and shields and things like that, but for the most part, it is completely different. There are heavy attacks by holding the attack button and light attacks by clicking them. I think some of the combat needs to be worked on, but this is an early access game. Do I think it shouldn't be released as early access? No. I think it's ready to be released. I think it's ready to be consumed. There's some weird bugs in it sometimes, but ultimately it just adds to the experience, not take away from it. I didn't experience a bug that was game breaking or made it so that I couldn't play. My hair disappears sometimes, which, as lovely as it is, it probably should. It's a game probably telling me something. And the NPC's heads sometimes spin around after you kill them, which, is hilarious. Do I think the combat needs to be worked on? I do. I think the combat is a little bit balanced towards one-hand weapons. I noticed I got into a really heavy engagement with a player who was wielding a one-handed axe, and I was wielding a two-handed sword. When I perfect parried him, he was stun locked, and I couldn't get out an attack before he could block again. And that made me feel like I couldn't really engage in combat with a certain weapon through skill. It was because I decided to take the wrong weapon, and it was a good weapon too. So I think there's some room for change, but that's what an early play test looks like. A lot of it's a very bright game. It's not really a love letter to the past like games like Dark and Darker, but it is an extraction game, and I think it's worth checking out. You can have fun in it. It might tide you over if you're looking to play Dark and Darker, and in that time you might come to enjoy it as I have. Am I gonna make a bunch of content in and around this game? I think that's unlikely, but I am reviewing it as it kind of exists in the realms of my interests, and I think it can in yours too. It's not perfect. I think because there are so many delves, if a low player interest is a problem, that might exacerbate the problem, because there's so many different ways that people can engage in the game, that there'll be long wait times for each delve. At current state, I don't think it's a problem because it's early access. A lot of people are interested in playing with it. I didn't have a hard time jumping in because at the time I played, I think the longest I waited was about 1:30, and that's not too bad. I can throw up a YouTube video or whatever while I'm waiting. So that said, the combat is kind of cool. The stamina bar feature is itself, you know, you got to be kind of careful with how much you attack, how much you're sprinting, and all that. But ultimately, right now there are no skills. There's a lot of different items that do different things that I haven't fully explored. You can get really heavily invested in the crafting system. You can get heavily invested in all sorts of stuff that I don't avoid, but it's not something I tend to look out for, and I think it's a little overwhelming at start, but if I got enough time to play the game, I would really come to learn these things as time went by, kind of organically, and that's usually how I treat overwhelming crafting systems or inventory systems. The thing I didn't really know what to do with this gear, it says it was worth a certain amount, and I didn't know where to sell it or anything. There are a bunch of vendors, and there's 2 different areas that you can start or go on expeditions from. So all in all, I'd say check it out. You might enjoy it. You might learn to like it like I did. You might hate it. It's really kind of up to you. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun, kind of funny game that I could laugh at and enjoy it at face value. If I'm comparing it to Dark and Darker, who holds a special place in my heart, it's an unfair comparison. Because Dark and Darker to me is a love letter to a bunch of old games, a bunch of games that came before it, and uses mechanics that are very well thought out ahead of time. It's not that a lot of these mechanics aren't well thought out, it's that it seems like there's just a lot in here that they wanted to include, and they do include a lot, like a huge crafting system, a unique inventory management system that ties in with your expeditions, and they wanted to add some character customization. I think it lacks polish, and that's not something you're going to see in a early access game, polish. So I think, you know, to the studio who made this, keep doing what you're doing. I think you did a great job, and I will keep playing your game. So yeah, thanks for making it. It's not a perfect game, but it's early, and it's much better than some AAA titles. It's a lot more creative, it's a lot more unique, and
I saw a bunch of dead bodies out here when I got here.
I can play it with friends.
Okay, there we go.
I
There's
think that's
one.
what's important. It's a game meant to be fun. It's not a game meant to be kind of a waygate between, you know, good players and bad players. There are many different play options that are kind of welcoming to new people that don't tend to game very often or don't really know how to play a game where you lose everything in between your runs. I think the mechanics in here kind of mitigate some of that stress and I think make it worthwhile. The mobs are pretty smart in terms of combat. They can be indistinguishable from bad players, so yeah, it's the AI is not bad. Some of it's kind of silly, but I'd definitely check it out. Anyways, thanks for watching.
Okay, so we are now going to talk yet again, as we do every few months, about pay to win in MMOs. We're going to focus it a little bit around this thread here, why Asian MMOs are pay to win centered and why players get along with them enough for them to prosper. Now, I would say this is not an East versus West problem. I don't think Western MMOs are not pay to win. I think just in general the MMO genre is pay to win overall. I don't think World of Warcraft's not pay to win, and that's a Western game. RuneScape is a Western game, pay to win. Albion Online, Western game, pay to win. I think you struggle to find many MMOs that you can say there are no pay to win elements to this, even if they're smaller than others. Now, why I think most people look at Eastern MMOs and think they're pay to win but the Western ones aren't, or at least way to a lesser degree, it's because Western MMOs typically hide it a little bit better, and say for instance World of Warcraft, you can literally buy tokens on the auction house and then buy boosts to get the best gear in the game, the literal top tier best gear in the game. There's almost nothing you can't do in WoW that you can't just pull your credit card out and swipe to get, which is fundamentally no different than being able to buy the best gear in Black Desert Online, for example. I think the difference is that in Eastern MMOs, they put a lot of inconvenience in their games, and people like to call it pay for convenience. I like to call it the developers making the game objectively worse to trick you into paying for things, thinking that, oh, you know, I've got less time, so I'll buy this. As opposed to what we should expect, which is the game will just be developed good, and then we'll spend money on things that don't inconvenience us and further incentivize them to continue doing so. But realistically, there's a lot of nuance to that, so let's get into it. All MMOs are pay to win. Eastern MMOs typically do things such as Black Desert Online, where they're going to give you a game, there's a lot of stuff you can do in the game, but they're going to say, do you enjoy horse breeding? Well, we're going to sell you a bunch of stuff that make it insanely more profitable, or essentially when you're playing without doing these things, it won't be profitable at all. You can buy X, Y, and Z, and that will make it better. We'll do it with cooking, we'll do it with alchemy, we'll do it with literally every single element of the game. Whereas in Western games, like for instance Guild Wars 2, you can basically just play the game and then there's a bunch of stuff tacked onto the side. World of Warcraft, you can basically play all the game, and there's nothing really as a barrier to make things massively slower. But you can just pay to skip to the very end, essentially. I think Eastern MMOs would have a much less shit rep if they literally just sold you gear from other players. Like, not them creating it out of thin air, but other players just being able to sell you gear for silver. People would still call it pay to win because it objectively would be, but it'd be no worse than World of Warcraft, it'd be no worse than these other games that already let you do that in just a slightly more veiled manner. So I don't understand why Asian entertainment culture is apparently so much pay-to-win centered. There is a culture around this, by the way, in Asia, in Korea and China specifically. I'm not going to say with broad strokes that this is everybody, but there is definitely some part of the culture which is like, I am a businessman, I have a bunch of money, why should some nerd who plays games for longer than me, who can sit and play for 12 hours a day, be more powerful than me when I can come in and drop my wallet? I should be stronger than him because I'm better in real life, like I earn more money. There is a materialistic approach to this of like elitism. That is definitely a factor. Is it as big of a factor as other things? I don't know. It's just a contributing factor, definitely. There is a cultural element to it. Games such as Black Desert or the upcoming Arcade 2, they look beautiful, they offer absurd content, details, graphics, animations, They're insanely good games on paper, but then they all revolve around pay-to-win bullshit wherein you indefinitely scale according to how much nerd you are or how much you pay to power up your toon, to a point where casual players are literally critters to one-shot in any context. You have basically, in this sentence, explained both the problem and the solution to the point where the discussion's already had in your own comment. Because when it's indefinitely scaling according to how much a nerd you are, meaning how much you play, versus how much you pay, that is the argument for pay to win, and this is the one that people will always make. I have money, but I don't have enough time, but I still want to enjoy the game. Now, what a developer could do is make the game just more fair and not have it be for money, but it's a business. Of course, if people are going to pay for it, why would they not give you the ability to do so? We've already set that standard, so it's never going to change. And this is not specifically, again, Eastern games. This is just games, full stop. If there's something you can grind for, or there's something you can pay to skip, if they give you both options, they could make the grind as fair as they want to. People will still pay for the skip, because some people have more money than they do time, and they value that thing the same as somebody who's going to grind for it, but they value the money less, so they're just going to buy it. I also noticed that gear upgrade systems are so close to slot machines, having to try for insanely low success percentages behind lots of efforts to even farm a chance for said upgrade. This is true, and it feels worse. I've had the same problems with games like Lost Ark, and people have said to me, you know, when you play WoW, waiting for that upgrade to drop, that's just a percentage. It's the same thing. It's RNG behind thinly veiled mechanics that make you think it's not as bad. I still prefer drop chances of items than what we've moved to with a lot of Korean games, and there's a specific reason they do this, and it is literally the gambling impact, the gambling addiction. When you're doing like Black Desert Online, you've all seen them, you play the Korean MMO. I need my weapon to go from +9 to +10, and it'll say like, oh, 3%, or it might even hide the percentage, and then you click it, and it's waiting, it's flashing, it's doing something, and then it fails, and you're like, oh man, that feels bad. But when it hits, it feels great. It's like hitting the jackpot. This is designed like this for a reason. It's the exact same reason that gambling is so addicting to people. It gets its hooks in you, and they literally have people, like psychologists, design this shit to be as addictive as possible. I think eventually there will be conversations in government held whether this is like healthy and whether or not they should be allowed to design games this way. But until that, it's just how it is. How can they think this is the way to make video games? Because it is, and it makes money and people play it. Like, whether you want to or not, whether I want to or not, it makes fuck all difference. Like, at the end of the day, we can have a discussion, and it's interesting to have. And it's interesting to inform people and the people who have time to discuss these things. But at the same time, it is irrelevant, because for every 10 people that have a problem with this and won't play, there'll be one person that will outspend the potential of 10 of you playing with a more fair model anyway. The whales pay for you not to play. It makes no difference. They're gonna exist, and you can just choose whether to play them. And can you extract enough value and entertainment out by not spending a bunch of money, or can you spend a little bit of money and still get a lot of fun out of it? And if you can't do either of those two things, you're just better off not playing the game. That's all you can really do. Or actually, if that's how they still operate, it just makes me think that this model actually works on a huge sample of players for them not changing their methods. It's just common sense, right? These companies have made other games. These companies have, most of them, been around for 20 plus years that are making MMOs. They have the data to know what would be more profitable. Do you think Blizzard selling the WoW token are making less money from WoW than they did when they had, you know, X million subscribers and designed the game in a different way? They're making more money now than they did before, but it's less effort, and the game doesn't have to be the literal pinnacle, the cultural phenomenon of what WoW needed to be making guaranteed $15 from each user at the top end, and that was the ceiling. They couldn't make anymore. Now if 1 million people quit, 10,000 people will buy enough gold to offset that entire million people. That's literally how this shit works. How can players be happy to cripple such state-of-the-art masterpieces for such shitty monetization business models? Honestly, most of the people that are paying for these things, to the extent of being whales, and not just somebody who would spend, like for instance, I played Black Desert Online for thousands of hours, like easily over 3,000, and I think I spent $500, and at that point, I've spent more than that in the last year on AAA games on Steam that I've probably played for 100 hours. Some of them I've not even opened. I've been like, yeah, I want to play that one, and then I just don't. I've almost certainly spent more than that on Starbucks in the last couple of years. So I think most people are just playing these games and not really thinking about this all too much, because they just see the game, they think it looks cool, they play it, they spend some money, maybe they regret it later, maybe they just have a good time and they don't really care. What people need to understand is you are literally in a bubble. Like, your perspective, you posting on Reddit, you watching this video, me making this video, we are all in a bubble. The vast majority of people that are playing these games, and this is the same for any topic of discussion you have on the internet or in real life or anything that's not like on a global consciousness level, the majority of people are not interacting with these things. They're not even having these discussions. Most people don't even know the discussions are being held. Most people don't care, they don't have time to care, and they're never going to. They come home from work, from their 9 to 5 or whatever, they kiss their wife.
We're probably gonna call it here. I gotta go to the store, clean up a little bit before the missus gets home. But we had some fun. We leveled up a couple times. We stayed safe. Got our alchemy up a little and our first aids up. We're doing good. It's the highest I've gotten on hardcore as well so far. It's level 15. It's not bad. I think it's safe here. Nope. Let's go to the road. Let's go to the road. Just to be safe. Not trying to die when I log in. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me.